Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 6 of the town hall meeting. I'm glad we made it this far. I thought we would basically give it up after 2, but here we are. We're still going strong. We got 4 brand new guests today. We've got Bidou, Moonglades, Kevin, and Tara. I'm going to introduce each of you individually. Bidou is a Canadian, I believe, right? Who's the team manager of Team Dust, also organizes Dust League, which we're going to talk about a little bit, was in Anaheim, managing some of the players there. We've got Moonglades, the Australian legends, Warcraft 3 Pro, Starcraft 2 Pro, caster extraordinaire. This man can do it all. We got Kevin, German Night Elf, up and coming, who actually, like, you were at quite a few tournaments. I think you were at Iron Couch. Recently, you've been doing pretty well in the Open Cups as well, and you're going to be playing in the Meisterschaft qualifiers, which we're also going to talk about. Yes. And then we got Ter, a very old school Polish undeads who actually, me and you used to not like each other. And then like we went to club one time in Russia and then ever since we've been friends. So welcome everybody. How are you guys doing?
I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah, doing good. Thanks for the invite. Excited to be here.
So doing well. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, as well. Thanks for the invite. Just chilling. So let's have a nice talk.
Yeah, can I start, Todd, just by saying like congrats on the team you joined. That wasn't one of the topics, but like we should definitely talk about that. It's kind of a big deal.
Thank you. Yeah, we can talk about it at some point. Yeah, but I wanted to start with what we start with every single time. Before it was the Reforged launch, but now we've kind of like saturated that discussion quite a bit, and now we've kind of turned that topic into what would you guys like to see improved in terms of the current game that we have, whether it's like UI, in-game stuff, like anything. So let's go with Tara first.
Well, how to approach this question? Well, overall, we know in what state the game is right now. That, for example, the most important thing is that we're lacking a ladder feature or leaderboards. And it's really a shame that we don't even have the fundamental things that were in the previous version. So bringing them back is probably the most important thing. And then like using what is probably good in StarCraft 2, because if I recall, like a lot of good things came in this game, and it's really enjoyable experience besides the competitive multiplayer. So, yeah.
Kevin?
Yeah, so there's 2 things that come to my mind when I think about what I would like to see in Reforged. So first of all, like it's a competitive game and we don't have a ladder. That makes it a lot less competitive. And I think many people are playing like not at all or custom games at the moment. So this is one thing I want for sure, and it should come as soon as possible. And the second thing is like what keeps the game alive will be new players. And there's nothing that really helps a new player when you are in the game. I think the community is doing an awesome job, and we have a lot of resources, but either you should link these resources and make them accessible in the game, because new players are completely lost, in my opinion. And I have some friends that actually started to play, but they played the campaign and they have still no idea how to approach games in Battle.net. Or at least like create your own resources in the game. That shouldn't be too hard. And there's things on the old Battle.net website that most likely the new players don't know about, that this site even exists. So this is the 2 things that I would like to see.
There's a bit of a rubbing noise or something. I don't know what it is. What is your mic exactly, Kevin? Like I don't see your microphone. Is it touching something maybe, or?
Let me see. No, it's just my headset actually from my phone.
Ah, okay.
But it should be okay. Maybe I was.
Yeah, let's be careful because like there was quite a bit of noise.
Okay.
Bidou.
I mean, how about just the stuff that we used to have? I mean, I don't want to say like a few things. There's obviously a lot, but I feel like they made Reforge and we have less. You know, like they took away host bots, but then they make the servers like unplayable. I actually wrote down like a list of things, but what was the question? You just want one?
Yeah, no, like as long as you want. Like, just what do you want to see improved, like from the game? Like,
I mean, just like the things that we used to have. So I'll just read from the list because it's actually ridiculous. So they obviously took away the host bots, but then like we don't have ladder rank. We have no ladder rank. We have no stats, no profiles, which is, I mean, that doesn't really matter. But then like we have no BNet tournaments. Like you can't even make a BNet tournament. No clans. When we went to DreamHack, they had a LAN button, but it's not even LAN. Like, did you notice that, Todd? It's not. It's like a West server. It's like the same thing. Like there's no loadable save games like that other like StarCraft 2 had that for a while. I just don't see how you can like release a game and then give us less than what we had and then not even cater to like 2020 where it's like we should already have those things built in right off the bat. So it's like why would you launch a game when you don't even have the basics?
Anything else? Or?
Oh yeah, I'll let other people speak because it's just like ridiculous. But that's just to start it off.
Yeah, there's a massive list, and probably what was in the original would be a good start. But are we allowed to swear in this? Is this a swear-free zone, or is this a?
Oh no, you can't.
Like, fuck the kids,
man.
Fuck the kids.
Even I've never heard Neo curse almost on Back to Back.
I did see that clip.
Maybe the occasional F word, but then he came to my channel and the floodgates opened. So go ahead. Apparently, this is.
I'd say the biggest one, especially down my end of the world, is the global matchmaking has just fucked us. We can't actually play on Battle.net. We have to play on NetEase or single player or find a US host, because if you're playing at the wrong time and you get like a European player, you get like 400 plus ping every time. So yeah, we can't actually play the game properly.
But as an Australian, like, how does it compare now with before? Like, how has the situation deteriorated for you? Like, were you able to play with less ping on BNet before, or?
I'd say it's comparable just because of the way it was with its, I guess, netcode or whatever they use to regulate the latency. Like, I think before, like on like Lordaeron, you get 200 ping easy on BNet, but at the same time it was a bit slower. It wasn't like recent times 200 ping on like StarCraft, for instance. So yeah, I think that was probably one of the bigger things that needs to get addressed earlier. But of course, the ladder system keeps the game alive. I mean, look what CNC's doing, man. They got it all right. They knew exactly what to say and how to make it look good compared to what Blizzard did.
I watched that trailer and I was like, motherfuckers, like, what about us?
Yeah.
We should have had all of this, you know? Like, how about communicating with the community and like doing all this stuff?
I mean, just an announcement is like more just communicating it all, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, they're way better." But it's like, yeah. How about just a playable game? Like Todd, you were playing today. You like lag spiked 50 times. Like, how about just a static, stable game to play? Have you ever played like a game where you don't like desync for like a minute and you're like, "What's going on?"
Well, I'm playing humans, so we already got enough disadvantages to go around, to be honest. So I'm not paying attention to that this much, but. No, but yeah, like I saw this Command & Conquer trailer and I was just thinking like, why did they get this and like we didn't? You know, like Reforged was like the opposite, almost. Like it's crazy.
I know, right?
Dude, everyone got hyped as well about Reforged. Just wait until the game comes out. Like maybe it's buggy as well. We don't know that.
Well, it's a 2D game, so to be honest, it's probably much easier to like remodel the stuff.
Yeah, probably, but it's still EA. We have to wait, but it looks awesome for sure.
It sounds like they cared at least. They portrayed a picture of them caring, you know, with all the sound, like the audio and the music, the stuff that they brought back or introduced, and just everything about it. They've made it cater to the community a lot better than what Blizzard did.
Well, if you watch the videos of like Walk After Reforged announcement, it definitely sounded like they cared as well, though.
That's true.
But now it feels like they learned from the Reforged launch. I mean, with Command & Conquer.
Yeah.
That day.
Yeah. The start of their meeting was probably like, "Okay, let's not do that."
Yeah. And even if it's not like finished, let's just do all this that they were disappointed about. I don't know.
Yeah. But Blizzard set the bar so low that, you know.
0.5 on Metacritic. They were like, "Can we beat that?"
Like Goat Simulator. Goat Simulator is a better game than this. Like, what were they thinking though? Like, what was Blizzard actually thinking? I think when Mike Morhaime left, it was like, I think he's like, "I want to announce Reforged, and I want it to be my thing before I leave." And everyone's like, "Yeah." And I think everyone was on board. And then they realized, "Oh shit, we have to build this new game in a year and a half, and we have 2 devs. 2 of them like don't even communicate with the community at all. Have no idea what they're doing." And then they must have just launched the game and said, "Fuck it, dude. We're gonna get the money anyway because these idiots that played Warcraft 3 for 15 years with no scene are still gonna buy the game. We're gonna make tons of money, and then we'll just disappear." That's what it sounds like, because like nobody's communicating with us.
But overall, there is some kind of issue with the communication from Blizzard, because I remember when in Heroes of the Storm, when they announced the AGC, and it kind of killed the amateur scene, and a lot of people were complaining that none of the pros or the influential people were giving the feedback. But after all went to the sheet, we heard that there was a lot of feedback from pro players and Caldor and others, but Blizzard never listened.
Yeah, it's hard to know like exactly what happened. Like you just mentioned this story with Mike Moran, but at the end of the day, it's like just fiction, like a theory. We don't really know. Like I talked about it in one of the previous show, and my version of it is that I think the developers were probably given deadlines that they couldn't meet with the staff that they had on the game, and then they tried to deliver as well as they could, and they couldn't, and like some people on the show were like more outraged, I guess, about it than I was. Like I was want to give people the benefit of the doubts in regards to that, and like I think somebody was saying, well, if maybe it was Pete Steelwell or something, like maybe he should have resigned or something if like the game was gonna be released in the current state and like as such a disaster. But I feel like it's not always that easy, like as that. Like for example, we were casting at DreamHack Anaheim, and there was a bunch of drops. So should I also like resign because like like the game's not delivering as like a protest? Like midway through the tournament, should I just say like, all right, I'm not gonna cast like this if the game is gonna be like this? Like it's not that easy, when you have a job, you just want to do your best, and that's what I did. Like when Thorzane dropped twice,
and kudos for you guys, because that was so hard to. That must have been so hard to be in the booth. I was out in the stands watching that. Dude, watching Thorzane get robbed twice, and I mean, you could say that Moon could have still won. Yes, you could say that, but like when Moon won the actual 5th or 6th actual game, I forget how many times, but like seeing Thorzane's raw reaction of like, I fucking thought I had it, I could have had it, I'll never get that game back, and he's ripping his fucking cords out, he's ripping his headset out, he rips his fucking keyboard out, and everyone's sitting there in silence. Nobody knows what to say. Like, I didn't know what to say. Like, I was so mad and I was so upset. And then you watch this guy's like raw reaction of just like absolute heartbreak. And I'm like, holy fuck, dude. And then he still goes over and shakes Moon's hand. Must have been like he said, it was the fastest handshake he's ever done. But like, dude, the class on that guy. He was like the worst person to test dummy the fucking desyncs on. Because he's a class act guy. And like watching that broke my heart, dude. Anyone that was in the crowd, it was like, oh my fucking
God. What do you mean? Like he was the worst guy? Would you have preferred it was me and then I threw a monitor and like let it on somebody?
Yeah. I think that's
I just mean I don't think Thorzane's got like a bad bone in his body. You know what I mean? Like a lot of us have some edge, so it's like maybe we deserve it. Karma's a bitch. But like with Thorzane, dude, come on. You could have picked a worse person.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that's why I said it. I mean, Todd, it would have been fucking content if you were on the stage. Don't get me wrong. That would have been fucking.
We would have made live stream fail for sure. Like there's no such thing as bad publicity. Like we would have tested that theory. What about you guys? Did you follow DreamHack Anaheim and anything you guys want to talk about? Like, I guess this.
Damn, dude, I'm looking like Hawk right now on the screen.
Yeah, sure. I followed it, and one thing I have to mention is like I have huge respect for Hitman's dedication and performance. I think a lot of people.
No, sorry.
A lot of people were joking about him, like playing all the time and what is he doing with his life. But the guy had a goal, and he just stayed true to himself. He has talent, but at the end of the day, you also need to put in the work, and that's what Hitman was doing. And now he's finally seeing results, and I have huge respect for that. I mean, I'm a player who's practicing a lot myself, and I would like to achieve what he did. So can just wish him the best. Really, I mean, I'm not like a huge friend or anything with him. I don't talk too much with him. Actually, we played a couple of games, but I just love seeing someone like rising in skill level like he did.
Hey Todd, are you fixing that? Because I look like Hawk right now.
What do you mean?
On the screen that you're doing, it's got Hawk's picture and my name.
Oh,
I don't mind.
Oh my!
But...
I was like, what is he talking about? Oh my god, that's from the previous show.
No, it's all good. I mean, Kevin, like piggybacking off of that. So I remember when Hitman was just like Ludic on East, and he would just join people's lobbies. Like OC was playing Deuce or something, and he would just join the lobby, race up as the green orc, and just spam go until you started the game. And you're like, dude, you're not even playing, and he would just spam. And that's how I first started meeting him, and I was like, this guy's a piece of shit. Like, fuck this guy. But then he was also like really good, and I mean, he's grinded so much NetEase, so much. Like even before he switched to NetEase, he played like 3,000 games on East and West. And then I feel like he's been getting there. And then when he went to China, he went alone. Like none of the staff or anybody went with him. And then he played really good. Took him out off focus. Had really good games with 120. And you're like, you know what, dude? It's getting there. It's getting there. And then with the whole team here at Anaheim, dude, I'm telling you, the last month before Anaheim, he didn't play a single orc game. He was massing Night Elf because he wanted icons and achievements.
No, I saw his stream.
He was massing Night Elf. Like he used to say, like Elf main signing up for a DreamHack. Like I'm playing Elf at DreamHack. I'm like, no, you're not. You're not playing fucking Elf at DreamHack. But he's like, yeah, dude. And like I think now he's playing Undead. Like he's not playing Orc at all. He's just going for the Undead icons. But man, this guy puts in more work than anybody. Like anybody. I've been like esports 8 years with like StarCraft 2 players, Warcraft 3 players. I've never seen anyone put in the amount of time that he's put in. That guy understands the fucking game. And then to have that accumulate with your whole team there, you fucking 2-0 lolly it on stage. Dude, where can it go from here? Like everyone's fucking stunned. If you put in the work, and he's put in a lot of work. I don't think a lot of people can do what he does.
It doesn't work without it, you know.
Well, I guess like Flash from Bloodborne does.
Yeah, I mean,
for the memes.
I think even Flash would go like, "What the fuck's wrong with this kid?" But yeah, like go outside a little bit.
No, there's this concept of 10,000 hours that you need to put in to become really good. I think he read about that, and then since then he's just laddering all the time. I don't know. Like he's online every time.
He's probably laddering right now. Like if I message him, he's gonna be like, "What do you want?"
If he would be on this show, he would be like playing at the same time, I think.
yeah. I mean, like during like Anaheim, he's like playing. He's like, Carson, you want a 1v1? And Carson's like, Moon's on the stage. He's like, I don't give a fuck. Do you want to play? And it's like, gee, like, dude, you're even here. You could watch like the best players. He's like, nah, dude, I just want to play. I want to get an icon. Like he just wants to play.
Moonglade, did you follow DreamHack Anaheim closely?
I followed the results. I couldn't really watch it live, but yeah, I mean, despite Moon winning the way he did over Thorzane, it was really cool to see him, just winning another tournament. Yeah. He's always just so much fun to play, and it's his style right now. I feel like with the whole Codic Hunt thing, running around, being a jerk, it's just it's right up his alley. So it's always really fun to watch. I haven't followed Hitman too closely, but sounds like quite a guy.
Oh, he's a gamer. He's a gamer for sure.
Actually, Moon, you joined a team a while back. Maybe we could talk about this briefly. Like anything you can tell us?
Yeah, so hasn't been too much action yet, but I'm definitely planning to go down to the Melbourne tournament that's coming up. I think in a couple months now. That's probably going to be my first appearance with the team Mind Freak. So they're just supporting me. It's just like nothing massive, but they're just a team I knew all throughout my StarCraft time, and they're friends with the owner and stuff. And they're just like, hey, if you want to play some Warcraft, come on over and we'll sort you out. And so yeah, that's pretty much where it is right now. It's just me practicing in the interim and waiting for the tournament. I got to start doing some online stuff on the weekends and stuff like that.
And there,
what is your sorry,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, what is your like capacity to play? Like, are you playing all the time, or are you just playing a little bit? What's your what do you think about the game? Do you even enjoy playing this version of the game? Because I remember TFT.
Yeah. I mean, I love the game on NetEase basically right now. That's just where I live and where I practice all my games, and it's always been the best place to practice, and it's been the best ping for Aussies for a while. So it's never been a problem for us. But and it's nothing different for me. But as for capacity in playing, I'm trying to play every day, but sometimes I have to miss a day or something because I got work and I got a girlfriend I live with, so I gotta juggle a few things these days.
Damn, those would be nice.
It's good. It's definitely good, but yeah, it just means practice falls by the wayside.
So they're a multi-gaming team, right?
Yes, yeah. I think they were pretty big with Call of Duty, I believe. I don't know if they still have a team, but they got a StarCraft team now, Call of Duty team, Warcraft player, and I'm not sure where else they've gone at the moment, but they're always looking for new talent.
It's funny, like you talk about playing on NetEase. I watched you play, I don't know when it was this morning or something. You had like 500 ping, you were entangling an orc to death anywhere.
Yeah.
Like...
I was trying. It's never usually that bad. Something must have really been going wrong with the internet cables in the ocean or something, because it was proper fucked. Getting like 1700 ping sometimes. It's the way of the Australian Warcraft 3 player, unfortunately.
Yeah. Actually, like, I guess this must be one of the things that like you wish is that maybe like there could be an Oceania server. added. Like we talk about the things that we would like to see change. Like personally, I've talked about
Yeah.
more servers. US East, probably number one priority, maybe a Russian server. And I think it makes sense that Latin America also and Australia would get a server, but I have no idea what goes into like having new servers for Warcraft 3, like cost and stuff, and like how much chance it will make for Blizzard. But
Do you think it's expensive though? I mean, they have servers for like the servers have always been a thing, right?
yeah,
So it's like I'm not too sure. I just think they don't give a fuck. 'Cause, I mean, why would they pick West? Like West is so shit. It's like the worst American server you could pick, like in terms of like Europe and Southeast Asia and even like NA. I think majority of the players are probably Eastern or Central. To be honest, like West, it just cuts off like half the fucking continent. I don't know.
Can't be too expensive, actually, the servers, I think. Like, it's getting
Must be just
cheaper
budget.
every 6 months, basically. I think it's just about doing it, like being willing to invest, like anything, really.
yeah.
Maybe some expert can mention some numbers, but it's like one thing that I hear, that it can't be that expensive. And if it leads to some people buying the game again or playing it more, it should be profitable no matter what. I mean, servers are the basis.
But how are the servers in StarCraft 2? Is there a ping issue or anything? Like, cannot we play on the same servers, basically?
Yeah, there is like a decent amount of servers and stuff, and like you can select like when you host and everything. But yeah, there is more servers than there is now for Warcraft 3. That's for damn sure. Like the fact that they made it global and stuff, and like that you're meeting Koreans on Korean server also is like quite absurd. But yeah, like
You probably played a Korean on Korean ping.
yeah, a bunch of times. Yeah, it was not fun.
I always quit those games.
Yeah, what about your stats and profile? Oh, wait. All right, let's talk about Rising Star Cup Season 1 finals, because last time we had the show, we weren't quite done. We had gone a little bit through it, but now we've advanced a little bit further in the tournament and actually completed it. And surprise, Happy was able to win. Actually, it was a very close winners bracket finals, 3-2 against Foggy. I didn't get to catch those games. And in the lower brackets, X-Lord, who had beat Hawk, lost to Blade, and then Blade beat Foggy as well. So Blade, with a little bit of a revenge in the lower brackets, actually. And coming back all the way into the grand finals and then losing to Happy. Did you guys catch a lot of these games?
Yeah, I did.
So what about it?
Damn,
Well,
Foggy's up 2-1. Damn.
Overall, I feel like if we look at the finals where Happy played the Blade, the result doesn't actually say how the game looked like. I thought like at least 2 games, Blade was really ahead, and I honestly don't know how he lost those games. Like it felt like, I don't know, in order to beat Happy, you need to really, really play so good. But I don't know if you catch those finals games, but Eco Essels and Last Refuge, oh my god, I don't know how Blade lost them after such a good early game.
I know.
Oh my god.
He lost when he picked his race.
Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I do every single stream, so I'm not going to waste any more time talking about Human Against Undead. What about you, Kevin, Moonglade, Bidu? Do you guys catch a bunch of these games?
I caught bits and pieces.
Sorry.
You're fine. I didn't actually follow it too closely, unfortunately, because it's a European tournament, so it's opposite my time. But
yeah,
I think I caught bits and pieces of Happy vs Foggy, but that was about it. So not much use.
Yeah, I think I was working most of these days. I didn't catch it, but I mean, it's pretty wild. Foggy's actually like really getting there. I think he kind of fell off. A lot of people were like writing him off with the keeper patch. Everyone's like, that's the reason why he was winning. I know specifically Todd's like, that's the only reason why he wins at all. But
what? I never say that.
I was just joking.
That was Neutron.
But yeah, true. But man, like he was up 2-1, and then that must have been a shaky Concealed Hill game 4 that Happy won out the last 2. But that's really good to see. And then Blade, obviously Blade. I think Blade's one of the best Europeans in the world right now. I would even put him above Foggy right now. Like the run this guy's having lately is really insane.
He's one of the best Europeans in Europe, some might say.
And he's winning, so it's not like he's match fixing because he's winning. So like this is real. So it's good. But no, I didn't really catch any of the games. But then Happy winning, I mean, yeah, he's still at a different tier. But yeah.
Kevin?
Yeah, I do follow Foggy quite closely, actually, and at the moment I'm really confused with the strategies that he's using. Like this Mass Triad style against Human, like I don't understand why you would play that, because Triads are just so bad, and I think he could do a lot better against human if he would just like stick to some basic rules, like don't make more than 2 twice or whatever. I don't think they are efficient at all, and they just cost a lot of lumber. But I'm also like impressed by Blade. Like impressed and surprised. I think he can play so well, but then again, like he's not consistent at all. I mean, at the moment he's having a good run, but I would love to see him like be more consistent and like really reach another level. And maybe it's him going to the next offline event in Asia or wherever. Because I think he has a lot of talent, but as you know, sometimes he's like not in the best condition. Maybe.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, even talking about like X-Lord's run in this cup, like 3-1 cash, insane. I guess he didn't want to play against Foggy because of that bullshit with the time difference or whatever.
Yeah, but Cash played Elf in that series, though.
Yeah.
True. But then he 3-0'd Hawk, and then he
but
almost
Hawk played human in that series.
and then then he played Blade, but the human thing again. But I mean, one map away from him playing Foggy. So X-Lord is also like right up there. So I mean, I don't think he practices that much, does he? I think he's kind of playing just willy-nilly when he can, and he's still so good.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on then.
So you don't care that a human plays second in here? It doesn't matter too much?
Well,
doesn't mean anything?
I don't know. I think
it's a small sample size.
Yeah, he went on a tear, and like it's a decent performance, but I mean, it was a 3-2 against X-Lord. So he had to basically like, do an Ironman and like, come out of there, no sleep, Navy SEAL training, and then like barely squeeze past X-Lord and somehow won. Same thing against Foggy, and then he finally made it to the finals. He's like, this is my time. And then Happy was like, shut the fuck up and sit down. 3-0, get out of here. Don't even bother next time. Yeah. And he brought him back to reality.
So like X-Lord 3-0ing Hawk, you're like, well, that's fucking standard.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's human against Undead, dog. Like,
I just think that.
I look at Blade versus X-Lord. I'm like, okay, that's a mini miracle right there. Like.
So, what style do you think works best for human? Todd, do you like the one base or do you think the? No, okay, hold on.
You never watched my stream, none.
I don't really that often, but I'm not a human fan, to be honest. That's why. But do you like? Okay, obviously you hate everything human. Okay, but let's say there was a world where you actually enjoyed it for a second. Okay, what style do you prefer against Undead, or which style do you think is better? Do you think the take an expansion, hold it with like a 30-minute, 40-minute game that we used to see all the time with Chinese humans, or do you like this one base style human player? Like
honestly, like I'm not joking. I think there is no best style. Everything feels pretty bad. Everything feels like it's super counterable, and you just rely on big Undead mistakes in every game that you play against Undead.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
No, I mean, it's definitely hard for human players to win against Undead. It's going to be either like a 40-minute game or they're going to get lucky. I mean, that's what we've seen with like a lot of games.
Yeah. Pretty much.
I agree with that. I mean, for like 10 years, like Chinese humans would beat WFZ and all these players, but it would be like a 50-minute game where they sat on 20 towers and then.
And also, the game was like vastly different. Like Militia lasted longer. Like all of the core heroes and spells of human were like super different. Anyway, I think we should save that for the end of the show.
You didn't mention that back in the days, the Undead base was basically made from paper.
Yeah, and now it's made of fucking. Vibranium, what is that thing like in Avengers? It's unbreachable now. All right, we should save that anyway for the end of the show. We're going to talk about balance plenty then. Let's move on to the next topic, which is going to be, let me see. It's going to be the cup news. So we have a lot of cups. Actually, a lot of cups. So let's talk about Esl Open Cup up first, which happened last Sunday, sorry. And actually, that was during Rising Star Cup. So Blades, I think all of these guys weren't playing, basically. Blades, Foggy, and Happy weren't playing. Maybe even Hawk. No, actually Hawk was. Which, by the way, this cup needs to have best of 3 quarterfinals. I've told them like 100 times. It's really starting to tilt me that it's not. But actually, I was able to make the finals before I was told to sit down by Spiral. Very swiftly. Did you guys follow any of that, or?
Yeah, I was actually beaten by some abusive human player that doesn't know anything about the game. So that was kind of tilting.
What's his name?
I don't know, like He's from Africa or whatever.
Single
Damn.
Dreadlord on Last Refuge and try to lane me with destroyers. And there he is, smiling, complaining about imbalance.
Hey, there's 2 humans in the
Yeah.
top 4. This is a
That was a request strategy, man. It was supposed to work.
And it almost did, despite being a ridiculous strategy. Figures, huh? Yeah, you played really well that game. I don't know why you bother doing all this funny, like weird stuff. Like just...
Actually, I was fast expanding, obviously, but like the moment you went for my expansion and it was nearly done, we actually passed each other without seeing each other. It was such a like
Really?
clutch timing. Yeah, I was there with my entire army, and like I just didn't see you, and you came to cancel it, and for me it was like, okay, well, that feels over. But I felt like maybe I could like harass your economy a lot and come back to the game somehow.
But you kept trying to retake the expo, like when it clearly wasn't really working.
Yeah, but I think like I should have went for some sneaky red spot or whatever instead of like trying to do it all the time in the same place, because you were also like all the time keeping it on the vision.
But anyway, the better player won. So yeah, that was actually pretty sick for me to make the finals here, because I think I was like of the people located in Germany, maybe 6th in the rankings of like Open Cups. And the top 4 after this cup was to be invited for the ESL Meisterschaft, which I was going to try to qualify for. And because of that performance, I made it into the top 4 of players located in Germany. And now I've been invited directly into the Meisterschaft. So it's nice. I don't have to try to play the open qualifiers and then the closed qualifiers. So it's like me, Spiral, X-Lord, and Ante directly invited, which is pretty nice.
You just had to come
Is there a pretty big scene in Germany for Warcraft 3?
Yeah,
Still?
I think it's one of the major countries for like Warcraft 3 all the time. Germany, Russia has always been like big communities.
No.
Yeah,
I think cool. German scene might by far the biggest one in the Western Warcraft universe. We have like a couple of big team leagues, even like just the clan having a league with more than 100 players. Like there's a couple of them.
Yeah.
And then we have the ESL Meisterschaft, like basically the German championship, but like everyone who's living in Germany is allowed to play. So we have Longwalk, Toxic Winter, like a strong French Night Elf, and Todd playing it. And it's actually fascinating, and we have a lot of German streams. I love it. We had like an offline event, and there's more coming again probably. It takes part 2. So yeah, it's quite fun to see. That's cool. And quickly picking up the Open Cup, I was surprised that Van and Spiral were both playing it, because they were ahead of me in the ranking and I was ranked 5, in the top 4 qualified instantly. And so I was hoping, okay, if one of them doesn't participate, I will qualify today. And then they both did, and I couldn't catch up anymore. So that was pretty sad. Yeah. And then I just stopped playing it. I gave the death win to Labba, just to be eliminated in a French tournament by Van, like the guy who just surpassed me anyways. Because I wanted to qualify for a French LAN, and then he played too, and he won the entire thing. So I don't know. I need to like win against him in the close qualifier, I think, just to equal things out again. And then Todd surpassed him. Yeah, he will. Now one has to play the closed qualifier, which is 16 players on the 31st of March. And the top 8 will go to the Meisterschaft as well, so that's pretty hot. And then there's 2 more open qualifiers with 4 slots each, and looking forward to what will happen there. So the Open Cups were really important for us actually, so that's why I played all of them.
We'll go over the first qualifier here in a moment, but first let's talk about Yule Cup number 4.
Oh, are we done with the Open Cup? I wanted to flex Longwalk's run. That was a really good run.
Okay.
In the same cup. I mean, he beat Juan, and he beat Vortex, and then he beat Please, and he lost to Spiral's off race, lol. But, I mean, it's hard to see, because Longwalk lives in Germany, so it's hard to do, like, NA type stuff because the time difference.
Yeah.
He played in Dust League first season, but it was super hard for him, so he hasn't been there. So he's mostly just been practicing, but, I mean, that was a really good run for him. So, and I would say, like, he's
working?
Yeah, he does like work from home stuff, but for the most part, he's like at the office a lot. I'm not sure what he does, but yeah, he's lived there for a year. And yeah,
that's a very sick run actually. He beat Juan, then Vortex, then Please.
Yeah,
like these are like 3 very serious players.
Can't believe he played Night Elf.
And I would say he's telling me like, dude, I think I'm at like 60% right now. Like I feel like he's like I feel shit. Like before the tournament starts, he's like I feel shit,
Yeah.
and I don't think like because he's watching like Cruncher and Hitman kind of like take over because for a long time Long Walk was like the NA god. It was like Long Walk
Yeah.
Saki for like a long time, and he's actually watching a lot of the Dust guys like take over, and he's like shit. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to miss my shot, so he's practicing a lot. But it's like, dude, you feel like you're 60% and you're running through a bracket like that, dude. Keep practicing, man. I want to see that Long Walk at 100, right? So.
Mm.
All right.
Like I don't know, yeah, I don't know what Corona's gonna do for like tournaments in Europe, like in the next couple months. But
Well, they're gonna be online. That's what it's gonna do.
you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
E3
if
was
I-
just cancelled. Like I think so many events are likely to be cancelled, and like we're gonna have to play a lot of online stuff.
Well, that's
For
good. It's
sure.
good that they're not getting rid of it. But yeah, I think Longwalk's got his eyes on Sweden. So
Yeah, that's actually going to be a very important stop. I feel like Anaheim, in terms of turnouts, definitely disappointed. Like a lot of the NA scene was missing. Like Cruncher missing from that. Like to me, feels so sad because he's like one of the best NA players. And there were like
Yeah.
many other names. Like Lado didn't make it and stuff. Insup wasn't there. So I hope that in Jönköping, like all of the Swedes, all of the Russians, all of the Germans, French, all of these guys, they actually go there and try their chance.
yeah, I mean, if Anaheim was tough, it's gonna be even harder with like Corona. Like I said, like it's
Yeah.
gonna be even more expensive to get to Sweden, and then there's a chance that they just like lock you at the airport or they
Yeah,
don't let
yeah.
you into a venue.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of us right now are like, dude, I don't know if we're like we want to go, but it's like, fuck, man, that's a lot of money, and like, are they even gonna we even gonna be able to enjoy it? So
Mm.
we'll see.
All right.
Corona's definitely getting worse before it's getting better. So
Let's move on to Dual Cup number 4, where there was around $3,600 on the line. And it's been... first, they had a bunch of group stages. Somehow, Sog played out of his mind and a single human made it off these groups. Don't ask me how. Like, again, another small miracle. But other than that, it was pretty standard. Like, yeah, Chemico, finishing last in his group. 15 Sway finishing last in his group. Fortitude somehow won a match against Foggy, but then Czech was like, no, actually, you can beat 1 elf, but not 2. And yeah, like today, was it today? Or, yeah, I think it was today, right?
yeah, this is this morning. Yeah.
Yeah, we
The
had
quarterfinals, yeah.
the quarterfinals where Czech beat Soin 2-0, Lola beat Focus 2-0, Happy beats 120 2-0,
120 through.
played Night Elf, and then Lin said, "Suck, you got lucky, you made it to the round of 8, but now it's time for you to get out of here." So we got 2 Night Elves, an Undead, and an Orc in the semis. Like, did you guys catch a lot of this, or like, why is Night Elf doing so well? Kevin and Moonglade, tell me.
Kevin, go.
But I just wanted to say that I don't like that 120 was playing Night Elf against Happy, because now everyone will say, well, Night Elf might be the best option you have against Undead. And so that's not true at all. And I think 120 was just joking. But yeah, I was unfortunately not able to follow these matches too closely. I think just the Lolite focus won. And I think Lolite is actually really good against Orc. So that's why I was even more impressed of
And
Hitman beating him.
why
But
did
yeah.
he lose to, actually, in
I mean,
in
Lolly
Anaheim?
got destroyed in Anaheim.
Yeah,
by
he
Focus.
lost,
that's
he
what
lost
I
to
mean,
Hitman,
that's
then he lost to Focus. Right?
Yeah, and Focus destroyed him. I mean, Hitman did on the stage too, absolutely bend him over. But when he played Focus, he definitely got destroyed as well.
But it's not that Lolite played bad. Like, in my opinion, I think the Orcs just played super well too. So, no. But I couldn't follow this cup too much, unfortunately.
I saw the Loliot versus Focus game before I went to bed last night, and Loliot mixing in the old dot strategy, mass dots with 3 heroes, and just doing it really well. I feel like it caught Focus off guard, and then just Keeper, Huntress expansions on Twisted Meadows, just being a cunt and basically killing his stronghold and TPing out and just continually doing that. So I think right now, at least in that matchup, it's just the Keeper Huntress, man. It's just this style that's emerged is just super cheesy, and it's very hard for Orc to deal with in its current state. So see where it goes, but seems like a pretty easy style as long as you got the creeping down early.
Yeah. Terror, Happy made it to the semis, but now he's up against Big Daddy Lin. How are you feeling for Happy before this one?
Well, obviously it's good for him, but today I was really interested in his game against 120, and honestly, that game was so controversial for me because like not only 120 played super good with Night Elf, and I thought he had both games. You know, like Twisted Meadow. Okay, you can say like he got a little bit greedy. I don't know if you watched the game where he
No.
basically bought the Zeppelin and lost it inside the base without any TP. So you could say like, okay, maybe he made like some kind of a mistake because he didn't stuff his Zeppelin with the army. But holy shit, the Amazonia game. That's like question marks all over the place for me. Like, what the hell was that game? He was so ahead. He killed the Lich. Like, there was nothing for Happy. The Naga was basically there for a kill, and he types out GG and goes out from the game. Like, what the hell, man? I was like, question marks everywhere for me personally.
He heard his newbie contract was expiring, so he needs to get a paycheck real quick.
So like both games, he not only showed how Night Elf is supposed to play against Undead, and he basically showed every exploit that is possible there. You know, like Happy. I know he played on a lag. He had the spikes. He was pausing the game, so he maybe didn't micro his best, or he wasn't efficient enough. But man, I think that 120 should win both games, especially Amazonia. Like screw that Twisted Meadows. That Amazonia game was like question marks everywhere for me.
Yeah.
Like what the hell, man? Like I don't believe that he was done there. I actually thought when the game finished, I thought like Happy left because for me it was over basically. It was like 10% maybe 10% chance maybe to win this game.
Remo in the chat says sources from China say that 120 quit as the conditions for Happy were not fair and he felt it wasn't a deserved win.
That is literally throwing, by the way. That is literally the definition of throwing.
Then why he does even bother playing? Like what the fuck is this, man? Like what a good guy, man. Like
I wish all the undeads would leave against me on NetEase as well. That'd be great. This ain't fair either. God.
I don't believe that explanation. Honestly, it's like for me it's like BS.
Yeah.
Personally.
It's throwing. He threw the game. He just admitted, yeah, I left the game on purpose because I feel bad for Happy.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
So what? Are you gonna sue him or?
No, but I mean, like,
normally get banned for that sort of thing, right? There, right?
Yeah.
Bad sportsmanship.
Well, is it bad sportsmanship or is it good sportsmanship?
Then Moon should do it for Tarzan. Okay, man, I feel bad for you. You had 2 of those games. Take the win, you know. Like go to the semis, man.
Let me know before I make my bet 365. Put my 100 down. Let me know first. You know, let me. Todd, you're saying like, why are you mad? Well, fuck, man. If he would have said, you know, if the conditions are bad, I'm probably just gonna leave anyway. I would have kept my $100.
Well, have you seen 120 and Infi's previous games? Maybe you shouldn't be putting any money on these guys. Like Infi, 1 lightning shield and he's out of here. Like, obviously,
that's true. Yeah.
I don't know. Like sometimes it feels like some of these players they just don't give a shit. They just do whatever they want. Like I think we all remember when Infi like on Terna stand lightning shield happened and he just left and stuff.
Yeah.
I think in NA we still call that pulling an Infi.
But something fair happened there. That he didn't receive the prize money, right? Or he refused to take it?
He donated his prize money to something.
Yeah, or whatever, yeah. So, like, you could say, like, he kind of, like, did something about this, right?
But
his bad behavior.
When 120 played TH in the finals of the tournament organized a while back, he just played, like, random BS strats, you know, like Firelord first. Like, there was just a little bit of everything in there, and he got obliterated. He was, like, one of the worst finals I've ever seen.
Honestly... I don't really care what they think, but it's kind of not fair for the viewers, you know, like, or for people that maybe even some of them bet money, right? Or I know they want to see some competitive play, and people just comment, don't give a fuck, you know. I think it was the same thing in like Leagues of Legends, on an NA scene back in the days, where when 2 teams actually said, okay, let's play Aram on the middle, and they canceled the final, right? Because they said like you didn't take the final seriously.
Yeah.
I think something like that happened before in Leagues of Legends, and they punished both teams for that, for not giving a fuck, right?
Yeah, Infi and TH have a weird relationship too. They're like best friends, and they share like a stream channel together on DU, and they honestly, they probably share like prize money together if they live together or something. I don't know. They have a weird relationship. Like every time they play each other in the finals, like a grand finals for a huge tournament, for some reason they off race or they do weird shit. So I think they just have like a mutual agreement, like, hey, if we're in the finals because we crush everybody, let's just do this. But yeah, it's kind of shitty to watch because, you know, sometimes you want to watch 2 humans go at it in Human Mirror, the greatest matchup ever. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they want to save strats and stuff for like the next tournament and everything. But it's not uncommon to split prize money. I know like back in the day I did it quite a few times. The best way to make sure that you still care about the match is to do like the winner gets a little bit more for sure, right? Like I just in the Open Cup that I finished second in, like Spiral asked me to split the prize money before we played, and I said, okay, let's do like 60-40. Like I don't really care and about splitting the prize, you know, like I'm not like, oh, I want that 100 for me if I win. But I think it's important to have like a little bit of a difference, and also to make sure that you know that we're both gonna try pretty hard, which I knew was the case here. Sadly for me, he stomped my rifles into dog shit and won the last game without heroes because we played on a fucking fountain map, so I got 3-0'd. But I can guarantee you I was still trying my hardest. And yeah, I wish it was always like that, like in all of the tournaments and stuff in China. Like sometimes it does feel like there's a little bit of foul play. So I don't know if they split like 50-50, you know, obviously like we have no evidence or anything, but it has looked a little funny here and there sometimes.
Yeah, especially with those two. I mean, just those two though.
So check Lowlight in semi, Happy Lin in the other one. Are we getting Lowlight Lin in the finals for sure, or what do you guys think?
I mean, I'm still not even sure how good Czech is. Like what? He 2-1's Foggy, 2-0's Romantic. He seems like he's just like he has like these crazy runs in like these random cups, and then he just disappears for like ever.
Yeah.
You know, like 2-0 Soin, he's about to play Lolliot, and that's gonna probably, like, if he's still playing good, like he makes it to the finals of Do You Cup. That's pretty crazy. No? Kevin?
I think Lolliot's got it.
Yeah, probably. Nah, good run. You're out. I agree.
Yeah. Good enough.
What chances does Happy have against Lin Ter?
I would say like 10% or maybe 20. I mean, overall, the matchup is broken. I don't agree with Remo saying that it's 50-50. I don't agree with that. It's still super hard for the Undead, and I know that Happy is struggling.
Who said
that? Remo is saying that it's 50-50 all the time.
Undead against Orc?
Yeah.
With Remo, like I don't think
I like Remo. I don't know about 50-50.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like
I like Remo a lot when he doesn't talk about Warcraft 3 and balance. As soon as he does that, I don't like him as much.
Okay, but like I think like Happy recently is really struggling against Orc, and I see him experimenting with the third hero, like picking Alchemist or Criplord or whatever. And I don't know. I don't think like he feels confident, because I don't think it's the problem of the hero or composition. It's like this confidence against Orc. It's super hard matchup, and the maps are not helping. Nothing is helping. And I don't like in what shape Lin is exactly, but if he's in top shape, I don't think like any Undead can win him, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. And I think Happy got exposed against Focus and DreamHack really bad. Like it wasn't even close.
Yeah, if I can say something, I want to also talk about this game on the DreamHack. I feel like Happy played completely not his game. Like I was watching his creep route on Northern Isles, and like, dude, wait. That's not what you play always. That's like outdated creep route. Like, what are you doing, right? That's too passive. Yeah. And I couldn't believe my eyes. Like, what the fuck is Happy doing? You know, like it's not him. Like,
yeah, Happy didn't get off his computer. So at the tournament, he like literally was playing games the entire time until he had to play on stage. He was playing. He didn't leave his computer. So I mean, if you're thinking was he not prepared? I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes you mind game yourself really bad, like depending on how practice has been going. Like I'm gonna refer to like some of the games that I played in my career. Like before I played Moon on that famous Twisted Meadows game, I was just losing every single practice game for like 2 weeks. So I went into the match like already defeated and already like super depressed. And I think I didn't play very well because of this. And then obviously I didn't want to leave because I was really sad. And there's been a couple instances like this where I've seen players just do really bad in a certain matchup, then go into their match and just already being defeated mentally and like not playing as well. So maybe, I don't know, maybe some of his practice went bad against Torque and he had like no confidence, so he played a little bit different, which led him to play even worse.
Yeah, but you can see the lack of confidence in Happy play against Orc, because back when he was really in shape and like when he won the WGL, like I saw the confidence in his decisions, whether he was patient when he knew when to nuke something, he was hit and running, and now it's like he's just going for a straight up fight and just losing, you know, like he doesn't care or whatever, you know, like he doesn't do any of those small things that actually matter a lot, you know, like he's just throwing whatever at Orc and that's okay, let's just type GG's.
But it's weirder now, Ter. It's weird. When he won WGL, he was just coming back, and like nobody was really like nobody's eyes were on him. And then as soon as he won WGL, like his replays are analyzed every single time. Like as soon as a Happy replay comes out, you know that Focus, Lin, all of them are watching them all, and they're dissecting everything. Like TH and Impy literally do streams just watching Happy's replays, and they do it for 10 hours, and they just talk about his decision making. That never happened prior to WGL when he had that crazy run. They were just like, Happy's really good, and like they didn't even think he would come, because for a long time Happy just said, I'm not going to events. Screw that. He even got fundraised to go, and he still didn't go. I think he kept the money too.
Honestly, it's pretty hard for him.
But it's a complete. All I'm saying is a completely different mindset, because, like you're saying, it's so hard for Happy to, you know, like he's probably trying 100 different things because he's getting overanalyzed like crazy now.
Yeah, but overall, it's hard for me to judge like how he's feeling. I heard that he's actually analyzing his games on his stream in Russian, and maybe also talking about his mindset. So like we have some limited information to actually talk about it, but it's actually the feeling I'm having from watching his games, that there's something off from his game. That there's lack of confidence for sure.
All right.
Like that'd be strange to me, because he's literally winning everything. So
Yeah, but
like,
we're talking about like when he's facing actually the best players, right? Like especially orcs. I'm talking about his orc matchup.
oh,
Okay, let's move on to the next tournaments. The Heroes Hearth Walkathrough Invitational, which had $1,200 spread out for actually all 8 players. Even if you finish last, you get $100 in this one. I don't know where the fuck was my invite, but I would have loved to get that $100 at least. But anyway, Foggy actually did pretty well in this. He only dropped a single map the entire tournament. I guess it helps when Happy's not there, but a very good performance from Foggy nonetheless. And Side also had a sick performance, actually. He beat Hitman in the upper brackets, and then after losing to Cash, went on a tear in the lower bracket, beat Spiral, beat Hawk, and was only defeated by Cash, who then made it to Grand Finals. Were you guys able to catch these games?
yeah, Hitman got destroyed.
Yeah.
What happened?
Dreadlord, man. I always think it's Seed, but I guess it's Side. Side is really good with Dreadlord. Really good. If only Human had a solo hero that you could just dominate the game with. You know what I'm saying, Todd?
I mean, we don't have anything that we can dominate the game with, so no, I don't know what you're saying. Moonglades, did you catch the Night Elves?
No, I unfortunately completely missed this tournament.
So I know against
do your homework, Moonglade. Come on.
I know against Hawk on EI, he just did like Dreadlord Necro Wagon, and he just like overwhelmed Hawk with just summons. And I know Hawk had an MK, and he was just trying to like clap everything, and it still wasn't enough, and he just got overwhelmed. Like the towers were just getting destroyed, and Side just literally walked right over him. So it was a really strong style, and it's weird to see like Necro Wagon coming back. But yeah, it was just a different style that day from Side, because I never really saw like Necro Wagon come back, so he just played really good. But that's kind of what the games against Hawk went, like the 3-0. You look at a 3-0 against Hawk, you go, holy shit. I don't think Hawk knew what to do.
Yeah. I'm surprised you say you haven't watched those games, because like I feel like you should be looking for inspiration. Like, is it in the plans?
I know.
Are you gonna watch them later on?
Yeah. I'm always watching streams and stuff in my off time, so this is definitely one that I'll sit down and watch all of Foggy's games every time.
Kevin?
Yeah, I watched like basically all of Side's games, and I'm really impressed by his style, because he always say, well, Untitled is such a boring way to play basically the same strategy every game, every matchup, and Side is showing like that. Like really off-meta styles are possible, and it's not like those are the biggest cheese strategies that only work like one time, you know, like a tower push or anything. And Side is known for his Dreadlord style, and people still don't really find answers. I mean, he won against Hawk in the, I think, WCG qualifier as well with a Dreadlord, and then he still manages to go for a 3-0 against Human, and then he wins against some Orcs that are really strong. And I'm really fascinated by that, and I would love to see like other undeads try that as well. Like imagine Happy playing something like that is clearly not just a one-time cheese, but something that can work multiple times. I would love to see more undeads playing that and what they could do with it.
Yeah.
And then just Foggy pretty clean. I think his matchup against Orc is pretty sick, and the keeper actually works against basically all of the races. So I think Random isn't even that good against Elf. I don't know. I think it gives you maybe an advantage against Undead, but probably not so much against Elf. I don't know.
Cash played random in every game, like other than round 1, looks like.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
And Neutron, I think, had some problem because he was playing from America, I believe. So he just played round 1 to Cash, lost, and then gave a default win to Hitman.
Was he still in the States at that time?
I think so, yeah.
Yes.
If I remember correctly. Terror?
well, overall, there are a couple of things I want to mention about this tournament. Like, first of all, I was kind of disappointed with Insuperable results. Like, I was looking forward to his games because he's like a different style, and maybe the nerves got to him. But especially his games against Spiral, like I felt he was actually ahead in some of those games early game, and then like he just started making like a lot of questionable decisions. So I was kind of disappointed. Like I felt like he could have done much better than what we saw, and the results actually don't give up like his level of play. And obviously, like Side is the biggest surprise of the tournament, and his Dreadlord play.
Yeah.
Like he actually skyrocketed in the loser bracket, like beating Spiral and Hawk. That was really huge. And obviously before Hitman, I think like he actually surprised everyone with this. Let's say like, okay, it's the Red Lord every game, but still like people didn't adjust fast enough for this playstyle, and he actually used this moment. And Cash, like he's random, like seeing that he actually won a mirror or Undead against Side, like kind of feels bad. And like Side was actually 2-0 against Cash, and then like 3 games in a row with random, and you get Orc. Like come on, come on, what are the odds, man? What are the freaking odds, right?
Not too high. Time to buy
Yeah.
a lottery ticket.
Yeah,
it's
that's
good.
insane.
It's good to see an undead go deep, I guess, like especially when Happy is not playing. We have a lot of strong undeads actually in Europe.
Yeah,
for sure.
we do.
Okay.
And in the Meisterschaft.
Yeah. I can't wait.
I got a question.
Yeah.
I got a question about all these tournaments, especially one like this one. Do they release the replay pack anywhere these days? Is it kind of like how it was in the old days, where you get the replays?
So
like I know a website with all the replays in it, but I'm just not sure.
So like for example, the Esl Open Cups, they post a lot of the replays on the page. On Warcraft3.info, I know there's a bunch of people that also collect replays, but here's the thing. Everybody needs to sub to Back to Warcraft, because everything that they cast, they post replay packs of on Discord. So that's where I get all my replays from. Everything that Back to Warcraft cast is always replay packs every
That's
time,
awesome.
like a few days later, like not necessarily on D-Day because Remo's a little slow sometimes, but it's pretty sick actually. Like a lot of people have asked me, like sometimes I watch replay, like, well, how did you get this? Well, it's like Back to Warcraft sub, so that's where you can get a lot of good quality replays from this tournament, because they cast almost everything.
Yeah.
It's just $5.
$4.99.
$5, man.
$4.99 a month. All right. Let's talk about Dust League Season 3.
Be right back, guys. I'm gonna get a drink.
Wow, he leaves during the NA Cup. Yeah, let's talk about it. So, yeah, go ahead, Todd. Talk about it.
It's your time, really. $400 prize pool. Are you crowdfunding? Like, do you have a Matcherino page? If not, what are you doing with your life? Make one right now. Like,
yeah, I think we might actually crowdfund this season. So the first 2 seasons were just like beta, setting it up, trying to get everything down. And basically, guys, what it is, it's a top 16 of the best NA players, which includes Southeast Asia, so Oceania, so Moonglade, you could play in this. Also includes like Latin America. My man. So it's like it's the best NA in quotation marks players in the scene at the time. So I started this because I wanted our own cup, but then also when Hitman got invited for WGL, it was literally only because he was rank 1 on NetEase. So the Chinese organizers didn't know anybody from NA. They didn't understand the scene or whatever, and they're like, we're just gonna invite Hitman because he looks like the best. So I was like, well, I kind of want to make like a tournament where like China can see who's playing the best right now. So it's like it happens every month and a half, 2 months, stuff like that. And so right now, like we're in season 3. The qualifiers just ended last weekend. And I would say that after 3 seasons, we now have like the best players in NA. It's actually gotten to the point where some of the players that don't qualify should be here.
Yeah.
Like Boo, Flame, tons
Lado.
of players. Siron, Lado.
Whoa,
a lot
Boo's
of
playing?
Yeah, Boo's
Boo's
back,
back?
man. Boo was at
Holy shit,
DreamHack
man.
Anaheim.
Oh my god, I remember that guy. Love
Yeah,
that
man.
guy.
Yeah, Carlos is back. He's playing good too. He's playing like old school Ghoul Garg. It's really toxic. It's really fun to watch.
Isn't Bull like in FBI, or he used to be?
What?
I don't know
he's
if
a
I'll
Navy SEAL.
comment.
I only remember it like from back in the days, like someone said this, you know, like it kind of stuck in my mind.
Yeah, he's the FBI agent. Yeah, he's currently
CIA,
undercover.
actually.
He's currently undercover trying to get OC back in bars, but that's
Just jokes aside, it's like only the rumor or whatever I heard before.
yeah, no, he works for them. Yeah.
Um,
So anyway, not the point. Point is, so yeah, it's $400 prize pool. That's like every season. I think I want to crowdfund it because like it'd be crazy to like have multiple seasons like this, just have that structure and stability and see what the fans think about it. But so the schedule is all laid out. It starts March 20th is the first group stage, Group A. I can give you you have a link, right? You have it on the screen. I'm not really sure what I'm looking at here. But yeah, okay. So the group's are already down at the bottom, and it starts March 20th, 21st, and then 27th, 28th. So 8 p.m. Eastern, which is pretty late for the Europeans. But this season's really good. So I was doing my own Twitch channel and just trying to see if there was any interest. And a lot of people were interested in watching the games, which was great. And for season 3,
I remember I went there twice and got flamed really bad by you.
Well, okay, no. That was because
that
wasn't. Oh, were you there? Okay, fuck, I might get buried here. But no, it's all good. It's all good.
Is it though?
Well, I mean, I think so. Do you not? I'm happy to be here. Fuck. So anyway, I actually didn't think I'd be on the show because of that, but I thought we squashed it, right? We squashed it.
Yeah. I mean, Dio kind of vouch for you, so like, you know, if you do bad tonight, he's also cut out from.
Damn, that's a lot of pressure. But so anyway, going back to like my announcement, we used to be on Dust Gaming Live for the seasons, and we were just trying to generate interest. And I think we've done a really good job. But I'm happy to announce that season 3 will be exclusively on Back to Warcraft's channel. So Back to Warcraft will be streaming. Well, I'll be streaming on the channel, but it'll be like basically at night during the downtime. So at 8 p.m. Eastern, Dust League will be on Back to Warcraft's channel, which is Super Pogs. Let's actually farm.
So you are gonna stream on their channel? Are they gonna join you for some casts, or how does it work?
It's really up to them. I mean, I'm open to having them on. I think they're gonna be sleeping though, or drunk and hungover because it's a Friday, Saturday night. So yeah, it's pretty
cool.
much. Yeah, moving to their channel, so a much bigger audience, and that's really the whole point. Like for Dust League, I really just wanted to get exposure for like these unknown, lesser known NA players that are putting in a lot of work and doing really well. Because there's a lot of people like in the NA community that are just like grinding, a lot of players that are grinding, and without like Hitman having those crazy runs at DreamHack, he would just be like a player on NA. So it's like a platform for players to like tell people what they're talking about, what they got going on. And it's a lot of fun to do.
But that hadn't been announced yet, right? Like you just now announced it, like to the public.
I hinted at it on my streams during the qualifiers, and I think Back to Warcraft and I will do like an actual announcement. But it's official. It's happening.
There you have it.
Congrats,
A world
man. Good
premiere
job.
here on the town hall meeting.
Yeah, so yeah, you're getting some good quality content announcements. But yeah, there's a lot of really good players. So obviously you got the players on the screen there. And it's good. It's good. I think we have like the best 16 players so far, and there's still 2 slots available. So NetEase, we take like the highest ranked NA player on NetEase, and
Who's
you get
that right
automatically invited. Sorry?
Who's that right now? That's not in.
So it was Say So at the moment, but he qualified through the qualifiers, so now it's up for grabs. So I think the next one.
Get to work.
What level's the highest rank?
27.
Got some
Who's
work
that?
cut out.
What about the other spots? Is there one more qualifier?
And the other spot is a direct invite. It's whoever the fuck I want. So get the honey out, lather up the thighs, and tell me why you want to be in there. But I'll mostly be just going with who I think deserves it.
I want Shade back.
Wait, Say So is level 29. So it's 29.
Yeah, but like he's already in anyway. But like who's in contention then? Like I guess all of these guys that didn't make it yet, like Flame,
Yeah, so Flame would be in contention. There was So Unreal is from Oceania. He was like high too. So it'd be like Flame and then whoever, but I've opened the floodgates, so I'm hoping guys just start massing games. So, and that's the point too. Like having a NetEase slot allows people to grind. So now you have really high quality games on NetEase. You have players that maybe don't want to play NetEase, but now they're going to because it gets them a slot in Dust League. So it's me just manipulating the fuck out of the gaming community, and it's awesome.
Yes,
That's
Ron,
nice.
I guess he's going to be in the running as well. Yeah, that's very interesting actually. I really like the call. Like you went from not allowing the players to stream their games in your tournament, which was really stupid by the way, to now streaming.
Yes and
don't
no.
interrupt me. Streaming
Yeah.
streaming on Back to Warcraft, which is very smart. I need to give you a hard time. Like I said, you flamed me the first 2 times.
That's fine. So I mean, at the start, it was very selective. So for example, I still don't allow people to stream, but you can stream your own matches because I understand how silly that is. But it's not like other people can stream because I'm trying to segregate it onto one channel so I can show if there's interest or not. And I think like even like when Insup streams, like he takes like so much of the viewership that it's like hard to gauge like was that a good stream? I don't even know. So that's the reason why I did that. It's not like I'm purposely blocking. It's just like in some case you have to make it somewhat exclusive. And on Back to Warcraft's channel, obviously it should be exclusive because it's in the better interest of the players. So
are you gonna stream in Reforged graphics or classic?
I don't know. I might do a poll
Classic.
for that. Honestly,
I can't fucking stand the Reforged graphics. I can't even watch a game in it.
So I have a really bad like mindset towards Blizzard because when I was at DreamHack, there was like I'll talk about it. There was a dev there for the StarCraft 2 team, and he was basically telling me that like the Warcraft 3 team is like dead. Like there's nothing gonna happen if you're waiting for the game to get better. It's not. That's pretty much what he told me without telling me that. Because he's like, sorry, we do PR training and I'm supposed to tell you everything's good. And he's like, you're actually fucked. So I think stop catering to Blizzard. Obviously, Classic's a much better way to view the game. It's what we wanted to view it. I think I'm going to do it on Classic because I'm going to just, if you're a community member, just do what's in your best interest because the game and Blizzard is not looking out for you. That's all I'll say. So I think, yeah.
What's the deadline for the NetEase qualifier spot and for the other invites, the one that you're going to choose yourself?
Yeah, so the season starts on the 20th. So on the 16th, so at March 15th at 11:59:59, I will close the NetEase slot, and that's when I will decide who's the NetEase slot. And then I will probably pick my direct invite at that same time. I also need to see if that person's down to play because maybe they just like grinding NetEase and they don't give a fuck. So that gives me like 4-day window to figure out, does this guy want the slot? Then I'll just move on to the next one, and then and yeah, so the 16th of March is when the NetEase spot closes. That gives you 5 days to grind. I mean, it's still a lot of time.
Yeah.
If you're Hitman, you can get 1,000 games in under a day or two.
What are you talking about? 2,000.
Yeah, 2,000 in under a day flat. So.
All right. That's nice. Actually, I didn't know all this. Especially, I think the call to stream on Back to Warcraft is pretty cool. So that's gonna give you this a ton of exposure. Wait. Actually, you didn't mention that. I think. At what time does it go live usually?
8 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, I think that's about 5 hours later for Europeans. So I think it starts
6.
at 1 in the morning. Okay. So what time is it now for you? 11 or 12?
11.
Yeah. So it starts at 1.
Oh, okay.
1 in the morning.
Yeah,
so when you guys,
it's not too bad. A lot of people in Europe, like we don't care about our jobs, whatever. So we stay up really late.
Well, and it's a Friday, Saturday night too. You take the Uber back home. You're half in a bag, and you get to watch me cast some Warcraft 3 for you late night while you're hammered and hungover. So I think it's gonna be fun.
Absolutely. All right. That's nice to learning about all of this. We got that was just announced. So Rising Star Cup ended, and the sponsorship with AMD did end with it. And now we are gonna have to replace it for the rest of March. That's not like for life, but for the rest of March, there's gonna be the Global Clan Cup, which is basically kind of the same thing as Rising Star Cup, except there is an ELO cap to, I think it was 2100s, something like that. So if you have above that, you cannot play in this. So basically, like the Happy and other people like Vortex and Foggy, they are the main people concerned. They cannot play in this. There is also, they listen to the feedback from the community. Second place now has a prize too, which I think is really sick. So it's going to be pretty hype, and it's going to replace Rising Star Cup every Saturday for the rest of March. And then after that, I guess we'll see what else pops up. I feel like at this point, if Back to Warcraft really wanted, they could probably do their own cup and it'd be a success as well on Saturday. I'm gonna show the yellow rankings real quick so we can see who will not be allowed to play. So it's 2100s. So
You can
So is
actually
it just excluding like the S class sort of players, or like the top 20
pretty
players in the
much.
world?
yeah,
Yeah.
so like 2100, like for example, Happy as that, Foggy, Blade, Vortex, X-Lords. And then Hawk actually has been losing a bunch, so he's at 2073, so he would be allowed to play. And then you got Thorzain under that. Hitman, I mean, I don't think he will play it because it's too laggy for him. Yeah, so I think that's a good idea, I guess, to add some diversity and stuff. Like, it kind of
Yeah,
sucks
that's
for like, the
interesting.
players above this, but I mean, they're already doing so well in other tournaments anyway that.
Would you get ELO for winning this tournament? So
Of
if you
course.
were like, if you were
Yes.
Czech, who's 2097, he wins this tournament, you can't play next time. Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
Shit, man.
Yeah, if you win too much, then you can play it. So you just gotta kind of stay in there, like barely. Obviously,
You
it
just
feels like
edge.
there's still a lot of good players that can play in this and like can do well in it as well. So, but yeah, it's an interesting dynamic. I like that Back to
Yeah.
Warcraft is experiencing with this kind of stuff. in my
Yeah,
opinion.
it is really cool. It's a very different idea.
Yeah, I really like this format, and I think it, like if you would have more tournaments like this and you restrict it to some, let's say, span on the ELO ranking, it would help new players too, because, there's like the Rocket Beans League in Germany, and there's like 5 divisions, and like the 5th one is for completely new players, and they feel at home, and they would probably not play like another league or would just not qualify for it. And then there's like the Walk with Free Gym Discord with a gym league that helps new players, and something like that helps you to, I think, improve even more if you play against similarly skilled players.
Yeah.
So maybe if they feel like this works out well, why not do like, let's say 1500 to 1800 ELO tournaments, and then like 300 spans or something. I think that could be something if you really want to help like players get better and be able to follow them on their journey, basically, because otherwise they will just get eliminated in round of 32 and that's it. But they would be more motivated, I think. If we don't get it from Blizzard, then why not just do it ourselves, like everything else?
So the Warcraft 3 Info League Team League is also about to resume, I think this Sunday actually. And that's pretty cool actually, because I guess that's like the main one team league that we have in the scene. We used to have WC3L back in the days. Like this one doesn't quite have the same hype, but it's the one that we've got, and I think definitely is something to look out for. And like we're starting to see, I guess, the favorites and like who's doing really well in this. So you got like Oceanics, Dust, and
baby.
Sui as
Say it
well.
again.
I've been doing
Say
really
it again,
well.
Todd.
You didn't
Say it
mention
again.
the
Who's the
champions.
favorite?
Of course, I was gonna say
You didn't mention the champions, man.
the champions themselves, which are coming back with an even stronger lineup. Team UMADs, which now I'm gonna play with as well in this tournament, and Vortex as well. So it sounds like we're gonna have a repeat champ.
It's a scary roster for sure. When I saw Vortex and you joined, I was like, oh fuck, here we go.
But it's pretty cool to have a team league, like actually, like that we can, see happen. Like there's always like this interesting dynamic of having teammates. I think it's pretty cool. So like, how has your experience been so far, Bidu, with Dust team in this tournament, and what are your expectations for the next one? How did you do actually in the last one?
We came second place, dude.
Ooh.
I was talking shit to Terror, and I called him Sheik, and I fucking jinxed it, dude. And we fucking lost.
You deleted his Twitter, didn't you?
And I set the bar so low right off the interview, dude, and I fucked it up. And the whole time, all my teammates are like, dude, you're the worst interviewer ever. And I'm like, you have to focus on the game, dude. The interview's over. And they're like, I fucking jinxed it. But yeah, we came second. Fuck, dude, we're so close to first. Thanks for reminding me, Todd. And yeah, I think like this year, we were kind of juggling like 2v2 teams a lot last season and trying to figure out what works. And I think we have a really good dynamic now of like, what counters what players, putting players in a position to like snipe people. I can't wait for Hitman versus Todd on fucking TS. I think that's
you want
gonna
to see me massacre your boy like this?
Dude, make it happen. I'll even coordinate with you. I don't give a fuck. I think that's content. But yeah, and I think we still have the same expectation. I think we added Boo to our lineup, and we needed like another good undead player. We had Deuce and Ducks coming back as well, and these are like more added depth to the team.
Yeah.
Hopefully we see HTRT. Knock on wood. I know he's in the chat. Fucking play the game, dude. Let's go. But I think right now we have a really good team dynamic, and I think the same expectation is there. Like win the championship or at least come in the finals. So I think we have the players to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, like the day's favorites and stuff. Kevin, do you play this?
Yes. So last season I played for the French team, Clan Fra, and I was actually able to take the most points in that season in Division 2 for the French team. But now I changed teams to the Rocket Beans team, and we play in the 3rd division. And initially my goal was, where relegation clan was in last season, because there was no 3rd division. And some of the German teams, they didn't make it because they lost in the relegation. So I heard, okay, Rocket Beans, they want to join it. So I will help them out in the relegation clan war and just maybe play in the 2v2, play in the 1-on-1, and be able that they make sure that they have better chances at winning and qualifying for the season. But now it turns out there's no relegation. They have enough teams for a 3rd division, and now I'm in the team, and I will try my best to
Who did
take
you
some
guys
points.
lose to? Who did you guys lose to in the relegation last season?
No, we didn't lose, but some other German teams, and that's where I found out about the concept of relegation for the Walk of Free Info League.
Oh, okay.
And I thought this would be the case in this season as well. So I thought, okay, let's help them. And now I really love the community. I love the Rocket Beans League, and I think we will crush Division 3. Nothing more to say. I think.
Yeah. If you wanted some easy
I'm
games,
not sure
you
if
could
we
have
will
just played on
drop
NA.
this.
You know that, right?
I'm not
Oh
sure if
my
we will
God.
swap a single map.
I don't think Kevin's good enough to make our team. To be
That's
honest.
deep.
Whoa!
I'm
just
too
talking
sure
shit.
about
I
that.
love you. I love you, Kevin, dude. I
But-
love you.
I'm not even sure if we're going to lose a unit this season, but we'll see. We'll see.
Straight into Division 2, perhaps. Oceanics Gaming is also one of the teams that I think we should look out for in this. Like they've been getting a lot of strong players on their team. They've got Neutron, Shocker, Insuperable, Side, Death Note, Kiwikaki, and Spiral. And actually, Please just left the team. Please and Foggy just joined Sparks, a new team, which I think used to be Vogo, maybe? If I'm saying that right.
Yeah. Which division are they in? Do we know yet?
I don't
Have
think...
they?
I haven't
They're
seen
not
them
playing.
listed. Do they play?
I think they don't.
They signed up. They have a team on the page, so I'm not sure if they're waiting to
Yeah.
get placed somewhere, but yeah, that could be crazy.
Yeah, they've got a lineup in there. They're in Division 2 apparently, so
Oh.
that's a pretty strong team as well. If just for Foggy and Please, obviously they have Riggedy as well on there, who's pretty good. So
Yeah, I'm not sure because like even looking at Division 1, there's that Bulgaria teamed up with Global Clan, so they have like I don't know if the Koreans are actually going to join. I haven't looked yet.
I think they made an interview on Golden Hall, and they said that they might not play.
Oh, okay, they're not going to play just because the servers are hard to.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it would matter anyway, but no, I'm just kidding. No. But I mean, it's cool that the league only had 2 divisions before. Now I think they have like 4. They have like a 3 division, and like there's tons of teams like showing interest, which is cool because it's like growing the scene. You know, like there might be a team in Division 3, like Kevin might run through the division, and then we'll see in Division 1, in 2 years. But yeah, I think there's a lot of competition here. I'm just kidding, Kevin. But yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. What was the question?
No, I was just talking about the league. And I guess
Oh.
Team Sweden is going to want to come back strong as well. Currently actually second in ELO overall. But yeah, lots of good players on there. So it's going to be interesting to follow. I think it kicks off this Sunday with UMAD versus Oceanics Gaming.
Yeah. You ready, Todd? Ready?
Well, actually, it's clashing with the Open Cup, so I don't know if I'll be able to play. I have no idea what these Clan Wars are on Sunday. Like, everybody knows that Sunday is Open Cup day, so we'll see. Maybe I'll play, maybe not.
But you know what improvement I would see into this league? You remember the old WC3IL or whatever, W3L?
WC3L.
Yeah,
How
on
dare you.
ESL.
Yes.
What I really loved about this league is like when the Clan War was coming, like there was like the presentations of each team, expectations, some interviews, you know,
The statements.
Yeah, the statements, like those big news. Like it was really fun to actually, read the statements, the
Penalty
predictions.
points.
Whatever, like the predictions, the comments, it was really fun, and I would actually love to see like more news and media around those clan wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the interviews like with the managers before the match. I think they should do that like more often. I think they just did that for the finals last season, but I think they should do that all the time. Like if Back to World Cup's casting a match, they should just do that. It's so much fun, and it like totally changes the dynamic of the clan war because you just kind of log in and then play. But now it's like, dude, he was talking shit. Like fuck that guy. You know what I mean? And it makes it way more fun. So I really enjoyed that. So I think they should start doing that all the time.
Yeah. Okay, what do we have next? Oof, that's not an easy one here. The WGTL Warcraft Gold Team League was just announced with a massive prize pool. Gordon Harbour broke down the format, how to sign up, and like a lot of stuff. So it's gonna be minimum 3 players per team, maximum 4 players. It looks like standard map pool. I've only glanced through this before. So first match is a 2v2. Second match is a solo. Third match solo. Then fourth match is a 2v2. Which, like, since you can have 3 players per team, it means that a player can play twice in the 2v2 with 2 different allies. And then fifth match would be a solo again. And there's just very specific rules. I don't really want to go into details too much here about them. Like the veto system has been broken down as well. And it's got a massive prize pool. I don't know if that's listed here, but I remember seeing that.
And each game is best of 1.
Yeah, which is crazy. How much was the prize pool again total? I don't see. Here.
It's over 120,000.
It's crazy.
Which is nuts.
Yeah, I'm pissed.
Well,
can I say why? I think they gotta stop jerking us around.
$400?
No. Okay, that's another thing. We'll get there. Okay, we'll get to that. It's chump change. But what I'm trying to say is like these Chinese leagues have to stop jerking us around. Because when I read this, I was like, oh my God, we made it. And I was like telling players, I'm like, here's the team. This is what we're going to go with. We're going to make a Dust team. How cool would it be to have an Oceanics team and a fucking UMAD team? And it sounds good. And then you look at the schedules and it starts on Monday. Okay? It starts on Monday Chinese time, which means it starts when everyone's working. So unless you have a life or you work at home, how are you going to play this? How are you going to play
What time on Monday? Does it have like a time somewhere?
It's probably like, I think it was like 7 p.m. In Chinatown, which is like 6 a.m. Eastern, which is like lunchtime in Europe, which is
It's
like
pretty good for Aussies.
Okay, well,
make
a team, dude.
You can take me in the team too.
But it's like, dude, come on, who can even play in this?
Well,
Aussies.
I can.
Well,
I own.
There's
I own the
120k
business,
on the line. Maybe it's time to quit your job.
We
and
got
try
a
to start
team.
a big
Tyrone won't play than me.
I mean, if I worked at Denny's, I would quit. But it's like, I don't know. No offense to people that work at Denny's.
Yeah, Dennis is amazing.
I don't know. I looked at it and I was like, well, who can play? You know?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I guess we'll see. Like I haven't read too much into the details yet. But...
Yeah, is it always going to be on Mondays? Is that the?
It's Monday to Friday.
Monday to Friday.
Yeah, how free is your week, Pender? How free is your fucking week?
Well, I could free it up. I could free it up for 120k.
Oh, you sell out. You sell out. I hate you already. You're supposed to be on my side.
In the call.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was really annoying.
I don't have the initial news about this, so I wanted to talk about it more, but I guess that's it for now. Maybe we'll talk about it next episode or something a little more if I prepare my notes better and have more links, because no, that was just the way to sign up and everything that I had ready, and I can't find the Wikipedia page for it. So
it's just different in America. Like you guys have spare time, but if I wake up to my coffee macchiato at Starbucks every day, I have to go to work. You know, I can't just afford to get unicorn cotton candy frappuccinos extra grande staying at home. You know?
What are you talking about? You drink pumpkin spice lattes, I bet.
Exactly. A latte, pumpkin spice when it's in season, Todd. It's not in season right now. But when it's in season, that's my shit. But you can't do that staying at home. You know what I mean? You got to make the bucks.
Drink less of it.
Daddy's got to go to work.
Then you can like chill more, maybe.
Yeah, but that's what they're providing you with. 120k. That's a lot of pumpkin spice lattes.
That's a lot of frappuccinos. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. They actually have a strawberry chocolate covered. I don't know what it's called. New mochaccino. It looks so good. I might go get it after the stream. Don't judge me.
Covered. No, I'm not judging.
It's chocolate covered strawberry like half coffee or something. It's got the vanilla cream in there. Mwah, it's fucking delicious, dude. But what I'm trying to say is, Denny's doesn't do it. You got to go to work. So it's like, what am I doing at 7 a.m? Trying to get that Starbucks.
Thanks for this, Bidu.
Sorry,
I just got yourself and Neo banned from this show in the future. So. All right, let's move on. Up next, we got Detoured Invitational. Because I'm not creative and I couldn't find a catchy and cool name, so I just called it with my own name. So it's a tournament, the next one that I'm going to organize. We still had $200 left over from the last Matcherino that I did when I did the tag team. And then we did a bit of crowdfunding on a new Matcherino page, and we pretty easily reached the $700 goal. So first place is going to be 400, second place 200, and third place 100. I invited 16 of the finest European players. And I want to say, if there was US East servers, for sure there would be some NA players in there. But because there isn't,
it's hard.
I don't want to make the Europeans play with lag, and I don't want to make the NA players play with lag.
I understand. Either, so. No, it's shit. I don't know why they picked the West server. It's honestly so shit. I agree. I think it's cool the Muslims playing, man. That's so cool.
So the Muslim has been playing again for some time. So I kept telling him, you should stream, you should play tournaments. So he finally played his first Open Cup. He beat Dark, then he lost to Hawk. So a little bit of a tough grade for him, but he had a decent run, and then now he's going to try his luck in this tournament, and he's probably going to beat Terror because Terror keeps doing dog shit builds like Dreadlord first around and expand.
Nah, man.
The Muslim seems a little lost, though. He was streaming the other day, and he said any pro custom games, and then I saw him playing Lotto all day. Yeah. So, I mean, the Muslim, I'd love you to reach out. I'll get you an actual good practice game, dude. You don't have to waste your time like that. But reach out to me, my dude.
I think it was unfortunate that there's like a Discord with some players and
but honestly,
no one was reacting.
Honestly, Todd, I would make the prize pool more flatter,
You mean
like
spread it out?
Yeah, maybe to top 6. I think like most of the tournaments that we have in Europe, they don't have the flat payouts, and I think they should be more flatter. Like I know like top 2 is nice, top 3 is nice, but maybe made them like in poker, for example, right?
No,
you know what I mean.
It's a very bad example because in poker it's like almost like winner takes all. It's like really bad after that.
You get like $4.
Didn't they make it like flatter? I don't really follow.
I mean, it depends on websites. Like some of them are worse than others, but like
Yeah, but I think like
just win.
Having the flatter payouts is probably better for the overall players.
I feel like that's just what people who don't think they're gonna win say.
Yeah, it depends. I had a hard time getting Happy when I asked Happy to play at first, and we only had like around 350 guaranteed. He was like, "No, it's spread out across too many days, and prize is not big enough." And then I was like, "What if we get 700?" And then he agreed to play. So like for some players, they will prefer to have like a more top heavy. I kind of agree with you. Like I mean, ideally we'd have sponsors, and a lot of people will be getting paid, like in the Heroes Earth tournament, for example. But realistically, it's not always that easy.
I mean, like overall, like I don't care. I love the challenge. I have the highway to the finals, so I'm gonna make it.
Actually, I should. For the people that are listening to this through a podcast and that can't see what's on screen right now, so we're gonna start tomorrow. It's gonna be on Thursday and then Friday for the round of 16, and then next week we'll have the quarterfinals on Thursday, and on Friday we'll have the semifinals, third place match, and finals. And the bracket reads as such. It's Happy versus Sides, Sonic versus Chic, Vortex versus Please, Cash versus Death Note, Foggy versus Starshaped, Neutron versus Johnny Cage, Hawk versus Bizarre, and then Terror versus the Muslim. The Muslim's been training a lot. Have you followed anything on his stream and stuff? Like, are you confident for this matchup?
Yeah, I am. Actually, I am confident, and I don't practice as much as I would want to right now. I kind of have like some things to do, and not always I can play a lot. But overall, I feel confident. I heard that the Muslim is playing a lot, and I was hearing that he was actually beating Ant stuff. But I tried to focus on my own gameplay, and I just know like if I play my game, I don't choke, I don't feel bad or whatever.
Yeah,
it will be good. I don't how to say it. Oh my god, I lost the word, man. Like.
Hey, you're choking right now. Make sure you don't do that in game.
I mean, I know that the Muslim is a great player. For sure, his mechanics are great because he's all the time playing the StarCraft 2, right? So, I'm not underestimating him, but I'm confident about my own gameplay. And yeah, I just want to transition my practice into the tournament play and start, like win those important games, start winning them.
Actually, half the players are from Russia. I guess like every time I ask a Russian player if they want to play, they like snap call pretty quickly. I guess just happy to be convinced a little bit. But it's gonna be pretty hype, and I've gotten a lot of questions like where is Tolzane and all these guys. Of course, I've invited all these guys, but like he's a doctor, so he doesn't always have the time to play, and like because I didn't want to clash with any of the weekend tournaments on Saturdays, Sundays. I put it on Thursdays and Fridays, so maybe it's not easy. So of course, Tolzane, Knopf, Spiral, all these guys were invited, but they couldn't play. So
Todd, how can you call it top European players? Grubby's not even here.
there's been a bit of discussion about this. Like I keep hearing people in
You must have got that all week. Where's Grubby?
Yeah, there's
we
people
want
in chat
Grubby.
that keep asking why isn't Grubby competing. So
Is there a reason?
You guys want to weigh in on this, or
I'm out of the loop. Is he competing at all?
no? Specifically not.
He's just streaming.
That's actually a shame because I would love to see him in those tournaments. That would also be
Tara's
good.
like, any way I can get closer to the top 3 would be great.
What? You're just saying that if Grabby plays, it would be easier for me?
Yeah.
He's
Don't you
decent
agree?
against Undead.
He's Orc.
Okay. I'm not getting it.
I think personally, like I had this also like when I started streaming again. I didn't really want to compete because I've done it for so many years, like 10 years plus between Warcraft 3 and Starcraft 2. I think it's the same for Grubby. So it's easier to like want to focus on just streaming instead of like competing. But it's something that's also very popular on the stream. Like for me, it boosted my numbers and stuff. So it kind of motivated me to want to compete more. And I think maybe it could do the same for him. So, but also I understand how, like I said, at the same time, like he's done it for so long, maybe he doesn't have that craving of like actually wanting to compete and stuff. So
maybe it's just stress. He doesn't want to open that box of stress again and expectations, because I'm sure people are going to have big expectations for Grubby.
Yeah, maybe. Like, and also like it's not always like super entertaining. Like the first few Open Cups that I played, I had really lost the habit of just like sitting there and waiting. And then finally you get a game, you obliterate someone in round 2, and then that like you look at the bracket and there are 2 matches behind. It's like, what are these guys doing? Like I'm waiting all of this time. So yeah, the waiting part is not always that fun, but
I think he will definitely consider that too.
Yeah, I think the community though loves it. Obviously, like the more players there are, the more higher profile names, the happier they're gonna be with watching this tournament. So personally, I don't think he will try and compete again, but who knows? Maybe he'll get the itch eventually and try, but I don't think so. Okay, let's see what's next. Oh, actually, by the way, I forgot to mention, which I definitely should. We're gonna have quite a bit of language streams on these tournaments. We're gonna have Wonder Brown doing the Russian stream, Will Q doing the Polish one. He's gonna try to get people pumped for Terror, the lone Polish band. Taker in German, in Russian. Actually, I don't know why this guy is listed. I don't believe he's gonna stream. And we're gonna have a Korean streamer called Ladin who reached out today. So we're gonna have a lot of language streams basically, and it's gonna be pretty sick. And I think O Gaming might do the one in French.
I just wanted to ask, like, there's Noobcraft that started that channel, and if there was no one for the French cast, I could have asked them. But if you have someone already,
yeah, there's already someone. I mean, it always depends. Like, I don't want to prevent people from casting. Like, maybe there can be more than one language stream and stuff. So, like,
because French scene is also quite big and getting bigger again. I think there's the Panda League and the like Noobcraft stream, and they're doing good too.
What's next? ESL Meisterschaft. We already talked a little bit about it, but like I said before, myself, Spiral, NT, and Xlord were invited from the ESL Open Cup rankings because we were the top 4 people that live either in Germany or Austria that were ranked in this. The actual tournament will have 2 groups of 6 players, so that's 12 players. So we've already got 4, we need 8 more. And to find out who are going to be those 8 players, by the way, there is 8,000 euro on the line, so it's pretty sick.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
To find out, we've got 4 open qualifiers that each qualify 4 players into a closed qualifier. So the first one just took place yesterday. actually.
Hmm.
And we had Toxi, Switch, Enna, and Jokern actually qualify for the close qualifier. Toxi is French, but he lives in, I think, Berlin, it was?
Not sure. I think it's close to Krefeld, actually. But
Oh, okay.
might be
Well,
wrong.
I think we already know who is going to win this league.
Long walk.
No, Ina qualified, man. Like there is no way.
Kevin, why didn't you play this?
So, small correction. There's like 3 open qualifiers, and
Yeah.
the first 4 from the Open Cups, they got invited directly to the league. But the place 5 to 8,
okay, yeah,
they
I
got
saw
an
that.
invite to the closed qualifier. So there will be 16 players, and the top 8 from there, they will get a slot in the Meisterschaft. And I'm actually one of the 4 that got a direct invite for the closed qualifier because I was the 5th or 6th rank, along with Longwalk, Trunken, and Van.
Okay.
So we have 8 already in there,
Yeah.
and 2 more.
Yeah, there's
so
still 2 more qualifiers.
I just have
Tuesday.
to do good there and reach
So
the top 8. And,
yeah, so it will be 16 players, I think, a double brackets, and then
Yes.
the top 8 makes it to the season, which will be the
double
big goal for
elimination,
everybody.
best of 3, which is a great format for that, I think. And it won't be easy at all, but I think double elimination is a must, and best of 3 even better, I think.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's it with the cups.
But I really want to see Remo qualify for this ESL.
Man, Remo's good.
And he would.
Like-
He could for sure.
He could
I
make
want
the
to see
close
him.
qualifier. I think making the Meisterschaft is going to be a little hard.
I want to see him play, man. Remo, go qualify, man.
I think he smashed Hitman on ladder the other day, and Hitman's like, "What the fuck?"
Remo is really strong, actually.
Yeah, he's really good.
I don't know if I would go that far, but he's decent. Maybe I'll try. It's on Tuesdays, so
I thought you'd say, "Well, he's undead. Of course he's winning."
yeah, it helps, I'm sure.
I just think he doesn't like Demon Hunter, but I mean.
Okay, let's go to our next topic. It's gonna be balance. We've already talked a little bit about it, but take us through all of the matchups in the game for your race, and then give us your ranking from worst to best race. Bidu, like, how much do you play? Should you be weighing in on this?
No, I probably won't weigh in as much, and I have like a really different mindset to that. I think the whole balance concept is dumb, but I'll let you guys weigh in.
I mean,
as
you're
well.
already banned from the future shows, so you can say what you think. It's not gonna matter.
What do you mean? I'm doing great. I think I'm giving people their space. I'm being polite. I'm talking about how humans garbage. I think I'm fitting in. But okay, so my take is like I'm a manager for Dust. Okay, so I'm the one that puts the lineups out, and I personally don't ever like try to go for like certain matchups for the most part. I never really have. I kind of just go like player and like look at skill, like general skill. Like I'll never look at like, for example, let's say I think that Undead is weaker than Orc. I'm never going to put a shitty Undead player like against a good Orc and be like, oh, this is going to be a close matchup because Orc's a better race. Do you know what I mean? Like for the most part, I think the better player wins. And that's the way I always look at it, because there's literally benchmark players for every race right now. There's TH and Infi for human. There's Moon Loliet. There's Lin Focus. There's Happy 120. Okay, and I think we can all agree that if you play like that against 98% of the players that play the game in general, they're all gonna be like, "Fuck, I'm gonna lose." Okay, so there's no excuse. If you want a balance fix, it's basically you saying, "I'm not good enough to get to that level. Help me." And you're asking like the game to cater to you being a shittier player. I don't really agree with that. I think just grind more, get better, and that's the way I've always looked at it. So I hate people that just go, oh, well, this is really imbalanced. Now there are good strategies that you can do, but there's a way to beat them all, I think. And that just takes the time and put the time into it and get it done.
Yeah,
so
this is very revelating. Thanks.
I have a really different mindset towards this.
How much of this game do you play, by the way?
I don't play that much at all. And that's why I don't really want to get into the nitty gritty. I understand
Keep
that.
telling me why I can't do it, please. Then.
Okay, hold on. I understand that like there's certain things that you do in game that I wouldn't understand as an observer, but I just mean like I've been watching the game for a long time, and that's my mindset. And when I put players in, it's always like I think he will beat him. It's never I think this race will beat that race. And I think that's a negative way to look at the game. And I think you're automatically putting yourself on the back foot. And that's my opinion. And I'll go grab a water and mic drop.
Okay, Kevin, why do you disagree with Bidu?
Well, I think you need to also consider like the maps. There's clearly some matchups where one race is favored, but let's say on a specific map. So I think I would just combine race and map. And obviously you have skill level, but you usually take your best players, and then I think you should just ask them, well, what map do you feel really confident on? And then I think you will get a good deal, because you will never know who will face which player from the opposite clan. But I think you can take maps into consideration, because they are not the same in every clan war. But that's just what I want to add to that.
I mean, I don't know why you're giving me this BS. I've seen you complain about human on every platform possible. So just tell us what you really think. Lay it out. Come on. The rifles, the bears, the +2 damage of Lado. Don't be shy. What, nothing?
Wait, was that to me? I can answer
Kevin.
that.
Okay.
Oh,
To me, okay. So just like quickly, the matchups. I think for Elf, it's the hardest to face. To face human, then I think it's undead, and then I think it's orc. I think it's not fair against human at all. I think undead is pretty hard, because I would just give some examples later. I think the orc against elf matchup is pretty balanced actually. Since orcs found out how to play against it with the Shadowhunter second, etc., and like don't risk too much early on, I think the matchup is quite cool. And what I don't like about the human matchup, I can just like say it from the point of view of a human when I played it. So I was actually off-racing human a bit, and then I accidentally like sent a rifle to a wet spot, like I misclicked with a rally point, and then suddenly my heroes leveled up, because the madman like just grabbed the entire camp on Amazonia, like the golems. And then I thought, okay, these units are actually pretty strong. So I think there's no real way to deal with it. And on tier 3, I basically like never kill a unit when human reaches tier 3. So that's just that. And then against undead, I'm just afraid of the ice towers. I think they get up too fast. Because like once I killed an ice tower, but I lost like 2 mountain giants, 3 clay throwers, and a zapper and my hero. But I killed the ice tower. Luckily, like there was no acolyte repairing. I tried my best, but it was really not easy. Against Orc, it's okay. I mean, you can just like click a main base with a lot of skill, put some healing spray on your hunts, and then TP out. I think that's balanced, actually.
So what about the ice towers? What do you think is wrong with them?
I think it's just not really possible to kill them, especially when there's like 1 acolyte repairing, and when there's like 2 acolytes repairing, you don't like no knight of unit can deal enough damage.
Yeah.
Maybe like
It's
20
like
giants, but you can't build
agree.
20 giants. So I think there's just like something wrong with the numbers.
So what's your ranking of races from weakest to best?
I think like let's say like on the highest level, I think undead is the best, and then human, then orc, and then night elf.
Terror?
I will take some time. Is that okay if I take some time?
Sure.
Okay, then Moogle can go first. I will go last.
Yeah, I could be quick. You might have meant he wants some time to explain everything about balance, but I can go really quick because I'm not going to give too big of an example. In my experience, I feel like I need more experience before I give any sort of solid balancing opinion. But I found Undead to be really strong at the moment in the current meta of things, especially against Night Elf. It's been just on my NetEase experience, it's been Undead that have been really kicking my ass more than, and maybe it's just me getting used to it. It's hard to say. It's just the way they are right now. They have a lot of tools, and they're quite strong, and they can expand a lot easier. And then it would probably be human and then orc. In that sort of order of matchups, I have the most difficulty with. And an overall sort of ranking would probably be, I think it'd be Undead, Night Elf, Human, Orc.
Wait, from best to weakest?
Yep.
Orc is the weakest.
That's what.
And Night Elf is second best.
I'm not saying there's a big gap between them all. I'm just saying that's what I see right now.
All right, Terror.
Okay, so overall, I think like the game is pretty balanced, but it would be the most balanced if you remove Night Elf from the game, because that's the most stupid race, then everyone will have like one shitty matchup, basically. Now, but all seriousness, I think that overall the race balance is the least important issue right now, in my opinion. Like for me, the biggest imbalance of the map is some exploits of the maps in the game. Like I think some races have like unfair advantages, like for example the Golem Pool on Twisted Meadows by Orc, or like basically pulling the level 7 Ogre on like Last Refuge or Concealed Hill. Those things are actually kind of imbalanced in my opinion, and some races do it more efficient than the others. There's also the problem of the
Everyone except Undead.
yeah, I mean, like Undead is doing those things the least efficient, actually. And also, if we talk about the lightning shield creep, like I know that I have nothing against like this Ancient of War creep from Night Elf, but when you see the lightning shield mechanic with like Archer Wisp and Ancient of War, and the camp is basically finished before even the hero comes out, it's like what the fuck, you know? Like it's just too efficient. And also things like level 2 Blade Master going into a Tirana stand camp with the level 5 mage and just doing it solo, or even Demon Hunter on level 2 doing it solo and stealing a big consumable item. I think the biggest issue is like map balance right now, and those maps tailor the balance of the races really hard. You know, like you cannot basically play a balanced matchup against Orc on Twisted Meadows or Telena Stand because one race is just too efficient. You can say that, okay, like one map favors one race, the other map favors the other race, but I don't know like which map actually favors Undead against Orcs, for example. You could say like Undead is favored against Night Elf on Concealed Hill because of the fountains, dragons, you know, gargoyles place and stuff like that. But I think like the first thing to balance are the maps. I think like some things are too exploited at the moment. And also the second thing I would change is actually the neutral items you get from the creeps. I think like some of the items are outdated. It's like imagine playing Dota 2 and the items never change, right? You don't see that. Like the game develops, you know, like things change. You have like a red camp on Twisted Meadows where you can get like Staff of Silence, what else, like a block, shield block, right? Like the magic spell block,
Yeah.
or like plus 5 armor ring. You know, like what the fuck? You know, like how this item is on the same tier as those other items, right?
Unless you're a hitman, you just get plus 12 claws every time.
I mean, like the tier items are really imbalanced. Like for example, if you pull the golem from the lab on Twisted Meadows, and there's a chance you can get like a devotion aura. Like why this item is not on the same tier as like, for example, endurance aura or like decay aura. I mean, like this is fucked up. Like I think those items has to be changed. Like, or like we have like on the big consumables, you have big mana, big health, or like a wand of steel. Like what the hell, right? Like those two things are in my important. The things that actually tailor the balance of the races the most right now, and this is fucked up.
Yeah.
So like on a map, where would you move that item? Where would you put an aura on
I don't know. Like I have no solutions right now. Like those topics have to be like discussed, and like there has to be some suggestions, right?
It's complex.
I can't just say like, okay, move this item, remove this item, like make
move
this
it to Night Elf shop maybe.
No, but I think we all agree with you that the items need to be rearranged. Like, why am I getting a crystal ball?
I mean like also like the third thing is like the heroes themselves. Like, dude, like we have a 19 years old game. Like, do you have a single hero, for example, in Dota that hasn't been changed since the release of the game? Now, you know, like the game grows. The people develop some strategies, and you see that some spells are just, you know, like shit, right? Like, do you see the reveal spell from Farseer ever used? Like, if
all
it's
the time.
Like, if it's useless, then remove, like rework the hero. Like, why don't they rework some heroes? Like,
I think that's something that there's a lot of room to improve. Is like the map pool, like map makers. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like if map makers work with like some players and works very hard, like they could even change, like, you know, like there's a set tier of items, right? So like on most map, if you're creeping the big ogre that you have in the corner in Turtle Rock, on the big camp, or in the center of the map on Concealed Hill, you get like Unholy Aura, or like, you know, some other like much worse items. Maybe they could change that themselves so that they're actually like affecting the balance and stuff. So I think that'd be pretty cool. But the real question is, why are you deflecting away from talking about the Nerubian towers and the Acolyte repairing them, and they never die against Night Elf?
Well, that's easy counter. Just kill the acolyte. I mean, okay, whatever. But like,
they are like Ferrari.
I mean,
you
going
know?
back to maps, do you guys think? I think like, dude, like during Zotac days, there was some really, really imbalanced maps, like Melting Valley, Secret Valley. Like those were like actually, I would say that the only maps that's actually controversial right now is Tyrannistan. I think the rest of the map pool, like this is probably the most balanced map pool that we've probably had in a long time.
Well,
Yeah,
it still
but
can
it's
be
not-
improved a lot.
yeah, but I'm
It could
telling you
definitely
that
be improved, but
seriously, when I'm playing, I'm mostly raging about some efficiency of the races on the maps. Like, it's so stupid when you have a single hero from Orc, like Blade Master, and he's doing like important objectives without any punishment on the map, and the only thing he has to use is just one salve of healing, and that's it. And he's seeing an important objective. Like that's such a stupid mechanic. And as an undead, you need to scout so many positions, and there is no actually a good counterplay where you exchange some objective for objective, because you're not as efficient to exchange those objectives, right? At some stages of the game, and that's the biggest balance issue for me at the moment. And at the end of the day, we can go to the details. Like, okay, like level 3 Stomp is obviously too strong, creates too much space. Like, I don't understand why Impale from Criplord is not the same crowd control as the Stomp. Like Criplord right now is a hero that is supposed to create space for undead, but he's not even peeling, or he's not creating space because the Impale mechanic is broken and it costs too much mana. Like, you're kind of forced into picking Pitlord to be a peeling mechanic for your fiends, but he doesn't have any crowd control. So you're gonna get raided by like speed scroll, TC with everything, and it's really hard to micro this shit. Like, those are the details. But I don't know. Like, there's so much to talk about balance there, actually.
I think speed scroll should be like, I estimated it, I think like 900 gold maybe. 900 would be
900 gold.
Okay. Yes, I think
900
Make
gold.
it an even thousand, then,
Yeah, but overall,
Yeah.
the
But then make like 2 in stock in the shop maybe, and then 1,000. I would go.
But guys, like, overall, the knowledge about the games grew, right? Like how the heroes work, like what they do. Like, I don't think like when they created a TC, for example, or a Cliplord, they thought like, okay, this hero is like a tank, literally a tank hero, or like a space creator. Like that we had no like things like, no one knew what is peeling, for example, or like space creations. Like those things were developed by the MOBAs, and like Warcraft 3 as a game from heroes' perspective is not adjusting to the things that are actually being developed by other games, right? That come from Warcraft 3 basically. So I don't know, like, I would actually love to see some things adjusted to make it more possible, and then we would see more new strategies also.
I think if they don't even have like playable servers, they're not going to break down the stomp radius.
Yeah, but now I'm talking about the details. We obviously have like bigger problems with the game where it's fundamentally broken, right? But if we are talking about the balance, that I think like step by step would be like maps mechanics, then like item mechanics, and then the details about the races, each other.
Yeah. So what's your ranking of races then, from weakest?
Okay,
to
so
best?
obviously human is the best. So no, but
Wow, he really wants the next podcast. Huh? He really wants to get on that.
nah, but honestly, when I'm looking at the results and like the strong and weak aspects of each race, I feel kind of like Orc is in a really good spot. Like, of course, they have a hard time against like Night Elf or Human, but I feel like the gap is really close to basically an even matchup. And I feel like Orc scales much better than the Human or Night Elf into the late game with the heroes, and they have obviously a really strong matchup against Undead, right? I would say like Night Elf could be probably second. I don't feel like Night Elf has any weak matchups. Like they're like they have so many strategies and they have so many mechanics to use on the maps. And the biggest one of laming, like mass expansions, run-bys, whatever, like the Moonwells mechanics, they're just so strong and gives you so many possibilities. So I would like to say like Orc is probably strongest. I know, I feel like Undead is really in a really, really strong position. I don't know, like, it's so close. Like, I feel like Undead should be like second or third strongest race, but it feels like the matchup against Orc is super underwhelming, and like Undead is not really that much ahead against Human or Night Elf. They have even matchup against them, but still, like, it's so map. I mean, like, it's really map dependent. Like,
Okay, what map is human good against undead?
And Night Elf.
Tyrannistan.
well, on which map Night Elf is good against undead?
No, let's start with human. You say
Human?
it's very matchup dependent. What map is
Okay,
good for human against undead?
you have Terranastan that is good for human. Eco-Eslos is good for human. I think like Concealed Hill is a legitimately good map for human as well. Overall, like Concealed Hill is a really hard map for undead besides matchup against Night Elf. And obviously, from top of my head, like undead has a really hard time on Amazonia against Night Elf. When I see Night Elf losing on Amazonia, it's like uninstall the game, man.
But you can make one Ice Tower and get to 100 supply.
No,
and
like
then
stop
attack.
complaining about Ice Towers, man. Like it's so tilting. It's so tilting, man. Like just like it's a tool that basically slows and does nothing else. You know, like play around it, man.
Yeah, what's the problem actually with Ice Towers? Because that's
I don't
something
know.
that came up before. Kevin.
No, there's just this meme in the Night Elf community. Like when Undead goes for like an expansion, like as soon as there's like one Ice Tower, it's basically safe because you can't kill it, with archers in the open field against ghouls and skeletons, and then you have the aura as well. So that's basically where it's coming from. It's just a meme. But
it's true.
I try to. They are good, but as soon as you have like 5 giants, it's okay.
5 mountain giants, yeah, dude.
5 giants with trees.
If
Let's be
you get
real.
15 chimps, you can also break the tower, I think. So, like, you guys, do you think it's the best balance that we've ever had right now, or are you still?
I think it's pretty good.
I think
overall
within,
it's good, to be honest.
Yeah, I think within a year we're seeing like every race and every players from every race break through. So I would definitely say. Like the keeper patch was a nightmare. It was total disaster. But after that, I would say like we've seen every race and certain players from every race just dominate at some point in time. So,
yeah, and you have tournament winners from all the races, I think, so that's okay.
I mean, balance is good, but we need really the map balance. Most importantly, like maps are stupid right now, like how they work.
Do you guys think that eventually there is a chance that something like W3 Arena could come back with different servers? So like suddenly we would have East, we could have like a Southeast Asia server. Like if it's cheap to get servers, why the hell not? And also
I think War 3 Arena got really expensive, right? Is that why they shut down?
Did it?
I think it got really expensive. Yeah, not many people, like it was totally crowdfunded, right?
Yeah.
And then I think it did get a little too pricey, or the game changed and they got screwed. I don't know. Pad did a great job with War 3 Arena. I'm not sure why that happened. I think it was getting too expensive though. But I mean, if you can crowdfund, if you can like actually, like if Pad or somebody, like, because you got to find a person that's going to do it. If you can actually say like, this is what we're going to build, this is what I'm going to change. Do you guys want this? I would pay for it because I know he's done it before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think it would be pretty
it.
sick, even just like as like an alternate server to be able to have games on like on East, like between Europeans and Americans without having like a shit lag and like all of that stuff. Like I think it's
But this would be a project that completely like punches Blizzard in the face, and they're never going to support it. And every patch would probably throw off the program or whatever. You know what I mean? So it'd be like a downhill battle. But I mean, it's getting to that point where we might have to do that again because I don't think Blizzard's doing anything.
Yeah, and it feels like for the maps, there's definitely room. Like if I think there is like some sort of alliance between some competitive players and map makers, that if they worked together, I actually think that there is room to make some pretty sick maps to be used in tournaments. Because like let's say like that happens and suddenly like you have a map, let's say like some sort of like improved version of Concealed Hill, where like the items that you get are like more consistent, like Crystal Ball is not there. Like, I feel like Crystal Ball is still pretty damn useless, even though it's like been lowered the tier. Like when you find it, it's like, who finds a Crystal Ball and is happy? Like there's always better items that you can find, in my opinion. And the bigger items is like where really there's the most luck and everything. So I think like I mentioned it in one of the previous shows as well, increasing the gold cost of the items definitely would improve that, so that either you find a really good items or you sell it for like, let's say like 400 gold or something. And I think that would make a big difference even with like the smaller items. I see Xanderdome in the chat talking about it. Just call me other map makers like Jelly Veliki.
Yeah,
like
but
these
dude,
other
like,
guys. Like I'm down personally to group up with some map makers and like work towards making a cool map that then we could start using in some of these online tournaments because I think that'd be pretty sick.
yeah, but
think it's-
overall, like changing the game, like, have some balls, like Lucas StarCraft 2. Like when the game came up with Wings of Liberty, they changed like so many units. Like they reworked like High Templars, Thors, you know, like Ravens. Like why not do this here with heroes units? You know, like some things that are just useless or just overpowered. You know, like.
Yeah, but are you saying you want Blizzard to do this or some map makers to make these maps different?
I don't know if we can do it on our own, but like I know like
I mean, what we've already talked about is like 10 years of innovation. Like that's going to take so much time to. We've brought up so many issues. Like they're not going to get done.
Yeah.
I think already
Yes.
with maps we would have a lot of new scenarios that would already be enough with the current game if we would just have like more maps.
Yeah, but right now the most impactful thing we can do as a community is actually do something about the maps.
Yeah.
You know, that's the most impactful thing
So
in my opinion.
if there is some map makers that when I work with you, Terra, would you be down to like spend some time on this?
I would give feedback, especially even like just take the maps we have, like just rework a little Twisted Meadows, for example, or like do something about Eco Isles. Like, do you imagine playing? I feel like Eco Isles is like Axel Naga of StarCraft 2. Do you imagine like playing Legacy of the Void on Axel Naga Caverns? Like, it's
For
such
those of you who don't know, it's like one of the maps that was first in the Wings of Liberty, and then it turns out everybody
it's
kind of
like,
hated that map later on. It was like so kind of.
I feel like Eco Isles is like this limited stupid map that you split in half, and it's like there's nothing else besides like doing your first hero to level 3 and second to level 3, and you sit down and do nothing. Like this map is so stupid. Like come on.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to like
surprised?
waste the acceptance for new maps though.
Are you surprised you didn't see more like maps come out of like the Chinese scene with all their big tournaments in their pro scene?
I don't know actually.
Yeah, that is surprising. Yeah, I
Like,
don't think there is.
My knowledge of maps in Warcraft 3 is very limited. Like I feel like in StarCraft I kind of know like which map maker made which map and stuff, and like I kind of know where they came from. But in Warcraft 3 I don't really know like who made Echo Isle, you know, like who made Terranas. Like they never really got their name out there as much. And like now it feels like the newer map makers. I don't know what some of the previous maps are that they made, but I definitely like feel like there is room for improvement in like us talking to them and trying to get these maps out there. Like maybe in my next tournament, I'll do a tournament on like only like some of the newer maps, so we can actually test them and like see which one is good and everything.
Yeah, but even like we had this tournament by High to Chaka on like new maps that was really cool, and like a lot of players actually enjoyed playing the new maps. But even then, like we had a short time playing on those maps, and really fast we started seeing some exploits on those maps, and those exploits need balance, right? So still like
Yeah,
there
but
should
I'm
be
gonna
like,
guess that these guys are more responsive than Blizzard.
For sure.
Yeah, it was really cool to see new maps, but also like if there are exploits, then balance them, you know, on the map.
One example from the German scene is like in this Rocket Beans League, there's actually one new map every season, and before the season, there's usually like a tournament where only this new map is played, and it's actually nice. And I love testing those. You know, as a knight, that you can just like test Ancient of War positions, creeping, the Tree of Life positions, etc. And the humans will test militia creeping and so on. So I really love that. But as I think Neo is saying in chat, like you need to get them out there and raise the acceptance with an integration into the ladder pool somehow. And I think that could be the hard part. But maybe if we have like, if we combine our voices and we say, well, Blizzard, here's like 3 new maps, just take them, like the entire community backs them. Maybe that could work. And I would love to see it. Really.
Neo asks, don't you think a new map must be on BNet plus NetEase ladder to be viable? Yes, but I think to be able to get there, because I'm pretty sure that Blizzard won't be making that happen, it's for us to maybe make it happen. Like work with the map makers, do some good maps, do some first few tournaments where we test them out, and then whichever ones are the best, we can start adding to some of the... Blizzard doesn't control all of these online cups like we do. If we want to put a map in there, we can do that, and then like the more popular it grows, the better a chance there is that Blizzard might be like, oh, this is like a really cool map, we're gonna add it to the map pool. I feel like I don't remember specifically which map, but I'm pretty sure that happened sometime in the past in StarCraft 2, I believe, where like we had this one map that was worked on, and then finally they started like creating this rotation where they added newer maps every time and stuff from season to season. So obviously, like it's Warcraft 3, I don't expect a complete revamp and like maps coming and going that easily, but I feel like
Yeah,
for
they
sure
would,
that
they
could
would
happen.
change the
We can do
maps
the
like
pre-testing,
every 4 months. I think they would change the maps in StarCraft 2.
Yeah, every
And
season.
they keep like 3 or whatever, but we
they-
definitely can't have Terror like talking to the map guys though, because he'll just be like, I think the creep should be at the natural expansion so I can have expansion very fast. We definitely can't have. We need like
Well, I don't
neutral
talk
people. We need neutral people to fucking fix maps for sure. Because like, dude, sorry, that was. Oh fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like,
That
but
sounded
here's
exactly what you were.
here's the thing too. Here's the thing too. If we actually make maps, how many people like I know NA players? NA players are like, dude, what the fuck is this map? You know what I mean? Every
We
time,
need
like even new
boats,
players,
boats on every map, man.
yeah, even new players that come back to the game that haven't played in like 5 years, they go like, Concealed Hill, what the fuck, Veto? Like they don't even give it a shot. So like we'd have to really come together and be like, oh, this new map, try it. You know?
We have to force them, I think. Like, let them not veto this map. Or
I mean,
I
you
mean,
know,
you need to play it. You're always like, you don't want new things. Like, it's just how we work, I think. Sometimes you need to force yourself. Play 10 games on the map.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, like you also have like those small tournaments like Zanderdorn is doing with 2v2s. Like you have the new map and you're playing on it, right? And he's actually asking for the feedback on the map. So that's really cool. You know, like we can have those small tournaments that actually more players should take, you know, participate in them and just talk about those maps and start using them more often in other tournaments. You know, like
Yeah.
that's also the way.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you have like 5 new maps and a 7 map pool and you force it in a tournament, they have to play them. And then they have to learn them. They have no choice. But I mean, that's kind of a shitty way to enforce a new map. Like,
Yeah,
play
but
my
it's
map.
like in small tournaments, right? Like
Yeah.
you don't if you play, you have to play those maps, but no one says like you have to play the tournament. You know, it's your goodwill,
Yeah,
right?
that's true. Like a small cup. Yeah, like have like a cup that fosters new maps. And
Yeah, I
then-
would love that.
That'd be a good idea. That'd be good. And then you're like signing up for it, so you're walking into it knowing. Yeah, that's different.
You know what you sign up for, basically. But
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea. Definitely something that I will look into myself. Maybe make a next tournament with only like some of the newer maps, and then we bait the players with some prize pool, and then they're gonna have to play on them.
There was
That's
there was that really cancerous team league NWC3L, and they would make these random maps every week, and they would put like Rainbow Road or something, and it was just like, oh man, and like I know I hated it because it's like nobody's gonna like practice this map because after the week it's gonna be done. So you'd have to like consistently put a map in and keep it there. Because yeah, I think like it just made me not want to play the league because there's just stupid maps. So I don't know. But
I mean,
if
like-
it's a cup, like yeah, and you sign up and you know that okay, I'm trying out new maps and there's $100 on the line, then I think that'd be good.
But also we have the long way from like putting the maps in the tournament to like having them consistently on the ladder provided by Blizzard, for example, right? I think that's the long road to achieve here. Because like how are you supposed to practice the map on daily basis, right? If you only play this map in custom games.
Yeah, good point. All right, let's do a Q&A. If you were all done talking about the maps and balance. I didn't prepare any threads this time or like a Twitter, so I guess we can just take some questions from the chat. And then that's going to be it. Moonglade, you still good to stay a little bit longer?
Yeah, man. I'll hang around.
All right. So if you guys got questions, now is the time. Write in the chats. Make sure it's.
Oh, I got a question for Moonglade. Do you
What's up,
see
man?
yourself trying to obviously like you just came back to the game and a lot's changed, but do you see yourself actually like studying up the game and trying to get like at a DreamHack like as an analyst or a caster?
I mean that's always a bonus, but first and foremost would be as a player. So I'm gonna keep just skilling up. I just got to grind, basically. I just got to keep grinding, and playing as much as I can and getting to a high level. If the casting comes, it'll come, but it's not what I'm playing for, basically.
Right on. Well, welcome back, dude. In Dust League Season 4, I'm sending you
Thanks,
an invite,
man.
So
Yeah, well, thank you. I'll be ready. I'll start grinding now.
cool, man.
What are you talking about? Season 4, Season 3?
No, he's like the next season. I mean, he could grind netties, but he looks like he doesn't really want to like do it yet. He wants to wait until he can fuck everybody. So Season 4.
Yeah, I'm still in my cocoon. I gotta spread my wings soon.
All right, let's have a look at the chat. Todd, how would you, question for everybody, nerf human to be more on par with other races? Why is this douchebag still in my chat? Come on, guys. Let's have some interesting questions.
There's so many questions to me, man.
I have a question to Tara. Can you beat Foggy with Garg style if he plays Demon Hunter first?
Yes, of course.
How?
On Concealed Hill, I think I have the biggest chance. The Concealed Hill is just Gargoyle favorite map. I don't know why Happy and 120 are not playing it. I don't know. I think this is the superior strategy to Fiends on this map.
With the dragons. Oh.
I think like Gargoyles is just superior strategy than to Fiends on the Concealed Hill, especially like Fontaines, Dragons, man. That was always the meta for the Gargoyles.
If you guys see any question that you want to answer, go ahead as well.
TV on the radio is asking me if I can stop like kicking him out of ESL Cups. I met him like in the 2 last ones, and no, I can't. And I needed the points, sorry. And now I need the money. No, I won't win. But...
Todd, what do you think about bringing back all the maps that had good tournament runs like Melting Valley and Secret Valley? I think this map definitely has some problems as well. Like Secret Valley is like a fountain map, which is a big no-no. Like Conceal Hill needs to get rid of these fountains, in my opinion. Like it's just so obnoxious if you play late game against Night Elf, against Giants, or against Orc. I just lost to Spiral, who lost his heroes, and then like he went in the fountain with his army and no heroes, and I couldn't kill anything because it's grunts and shamans. It was like the stupidest thing I've ever seen. So yeah, I really dislike fountains personally. I think they're like utterly broken. So maybe in team games they could be okay, but I'm pretty sure they're broken there as well. So yeah.
Hey Todd, I got a question for you. No Limit Gaming, like, is this like a Warcraft 3 thing, or are you also doing poker too?
I'm joining as a player that plays for them in like online cups and ESL Meisterschafts. Like I will not be playing in like DreamHacks and stuff. Like I would rather commentate the rest of the tournaments, just play online stuff. But as for poker, they're like a team that does a lot of poker and that has like a very strong, or like a very strong lineup in that. So that includes, my deal includes some coaching from like one of their good players, and I guess I'll be talking to some more of them to try and get better at poker as well, because they've got a lot of really good players on the team.
Do you get coached by Fedor?
I don't think he's on the team.
Fedor Holtz? Doesn't he own it?
Doesn't he own the team?
I think but like I think he's one of the investors maybe in it, but I don't think.
Okay.
He's part of the actual
He's not
team.
directly involved. Okay.
Like someone, yeah, but no, it's not him. It's another player called Julian.
Did you reach out to them, or did they reach out to you?
They reached out to me, but I mean, like I already knew some of them and stuff, and yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. Actually, I feel like when I play video games, they click very easily with me, and like I can play a lot and get better. But in poker, I've gotten better since I play, but I've at a much slower rate than what I would like. So I feel like
do you have a poker face in poker? Because it's very easy to tilt you in Warcraft 3. Like, how do you? Because you must really turn it off in poker.
Yeah, I think like you try not to be expressive and stuff, but I'm pretty sure that I probably got a pretty bad poker face. But in the games that I play, it doesn't matter because I play like pretty low limits. Like if I play online, obviously it doesn't matter. And then if I play live, like I kind of want to say that everybody is like not that good usually in the games I play, because I play like little money, right? So like people they can't really pick up on it. But obviously, yeah, it's not like gaming. In gaming, like I can curse out loud, whatever, if something's going bad. But in poker, if like a river's coming, I'm not gonna be like, what the fuck, or something. Yeah. So you just kind of keep a straight face as much as you can. But I'm sure that I got a lot of tells like around, my mouth, my throat. That's why people usually try to hide these.
Do you wear sunglasses?
Who's the coolest guy you played at a table with? Live.
The coolest guy?
Like the biggest name. Like you're like, holy fuck, dude, it's him.
I don't know that anyone really stands out. Like I played with a very famous boxer called Ryan Garcia when I played in Vegas, and like he's got like 2 million Instagram followers or something. So that was pretty cool. Because also I didn't even recognize him at first. I was just talking to him. I was like, oh, so what do you do and stuff? And he's like, I'm a boxer. I was like, wait a second, I know you. And so I think that was pretty sick. But I've played with like quite a few famous people. I played with another boxer called David Hay from UK one time in a tournament. He actually went further than me. I've run into some interesting characters for sure.
Cool.
All right, Muffy asked, what do you think about 3 new tavern heroes? I think a lot of people are going to agree with me, probably, I assume, but this is really not the priority, right? Is it adding new tavern heroes?
Nah,
No,
we
that's a lot
have
of balancing.
we have other broken mechanics already,
No.
or just outdated.
I mean, might be fun, but like races, like let's just say Orc and Undead, or even Human, they can't really use Tavern Heroes. It's mostly Night Elf, so they would probably use them if they are like a summoner or whatever, because they can just heal mana easily in the beginning at least. I mean, it doesn't come free, but it's easier to use them as Night Elf, so I don't think it would bring too much to the scene in general. Oh.
What about you guys? Mooney?
What was the question?
Oh, I don't think it's definitely not the what we should focus on right now. And yeah, as Kevin said, it would just help Night Elf more than anyone else, really.
Yeah.
But maybe they come up with a really funky tavern hero that could be used by other races that don't do
Not
anything.
like we don't need help, but maybe something else.
Yeah, you never know. But
Yeah,
definitely
I think,
haven't been thinking about that.
I don't know. 3 new tavern heroes would be cool, but it wouldn't help anything at all.
Jale Veliki asked, how does the town hall meeting feel about possible mana fountains in future maps if placed smartly? Personally, I really hate fountains in general, so I feel like you don't have to
fucking
add
hate
fountains. Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
have to add fountains for a map to be interesting. But maybe if like you lowered the regeneration rate so much that it'd be helpful but not completely broken, maybe it could be okay, but I really don't think that maps need them, to be honest.
I
You'd
think
have to lower it a lot, right? Because it's more than a salve. So
Yeah.
it's faster than a salve. So it's like, imagine a warden or like something like that. Like, no, you can't do that.
you know what I would see.
I'll be back.
I would see like fountain as some kind of objective. Like for example, you come to it and like in Dota 2, like you regenerate and it goes into the cooldown. So you have like some kind of objective on the map that is like protected by the creep, and you have something else to fight for. And even if you retreat, you maybe control the map position of it, and you can regenerate.
Yeah.
But it's like only for a moment, and then it goes to the cooldown, right? So
I would love that.
So you have like some kind of a mechanic of it, you know, like that's just the idea. Like I don't say it's a final, it's just a thought, you know, like so there's something else to fight for that gives you value, right? And not like you can abuse it by just standing and not being attacked by the neutral creeps or like some
Like
heroes like Infinity Coil Nova for Undead if you have mana fountain. That's imbalance as well, you know, like what the fuck.
Yeah. You don't
Just
think
like
it becomes
Clarity
too
Potion for free
objective-based?
or something, yeah.
I'm worried it would become too objective based around that. And I mean, maybe it could be interesting on a certain map, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's just a
Can be
theory,
small,
right?
maybe.
It could be game changing, but you could maybe see some interesting mechanics. Like okay, like for example, you allow someone to come back and regenerate, but instead he's giving up some creep objective that you take. For example, you know, like there's some like diversity in the gameplay.
Yeah. Yeah, good point. I just don't want it to become too objective based. Like, you know, we don't need like let's get moving with the payload, you know, like it's suddenly like
I don't want to be like this game too centric about some objectives. Like if you don't take it, then it's game changer. But it's like not too many like objective exchanges, you know, like as I said before, like some races are too efficient and they take some unfair advantage too early in the game, and there is no counterplay to it right now.
Yeah.
I saw one question by Back to Warcraft, like what tournament formats we would like to see. And yeah, I briefly mentioned it earlier. I would love to see like more Elo restricted tournaments, especially for beginners. I think it can help them a lot and motivate them. Like, let's say 5th Division in the Rocket Beans League or like Gym Newbie League. Just have tournaments for the beginners. And if there's like off time on stream, maybe during the week, you can do that. I mean, if the Dust League will be at nighttime for Europeans, there could be something in the middle of the week. Even during the day, just give them some exposure and keep them motivated. I would love to see that.
The exact question was, is there any tournament format you guys miss in the scene at this moment? And for me, that's a very clear one, team leagues. And I think more 2-on-2 involved as well. Like we talked about Warcraft 3 Info League earlier. Like I really miss WC3L personally. I think WC3L was the sickest thing. It was so hype. Everybody followed it. You always had the showdown between certain teams and certain players that you wanted to see.
That's what I
What was
mentioned
something?
before.
What was something they did that like War 3 Info League isn't doing? Was it just better players, or what?
No, no,
Like,
no,
what's
no,
going
no,
on?
no, no. It was like all those like media attention around this, like statements, predictions, like all these discussions, like on the public news. Like that's what I said before. Like I would love to see that on the Warcraft 3 League right now. Like more introductions of the teams and opinions from the managers or players about the clan.
Statements, etc.
Yeah. Like written, not like interviewed. Like you can add that, but like as a basic, like this written news about like, oh, this like human versus OCG, and you see like, for example, Todd giving a statement, and Neutron, all this trolling, like predictions,
I would
like
love that too.
some neutral people like Remo or others like saying that their opinion, like what they're looking forward to, like statistics, like, oh, we have like this player like winning 5 previous games like with this stats against Undead or Night Elf, like all those analytic stuff where people can actually sit down and discuss about this.
Damn, I just thought of something really pog. Okay, tell me if this is a good idea. War 3 Info League. Okay, mandatory, like 400-word statement by somebody on that team every week.
400?
So, like,
That's like a paragraph.
Well, I don't know. It's
That's
gotta.
like
It can't be
page,
like
Whole
man.
thesis. What are you
No,
talking
no,
about?
it can't.
Oh my
hold on.
God.
It can't be like. But it can't be like. Yeah, we're happy to be here. Like it's got to be like an actual statement of like. It could be the manager. It could be Hitman. It could be Todd. It could be Terror. Like UMAD, you have to put one player out to say something about the week, about how the team's going, whatever, and then that's how you get that buzz going. You get somebody talking shit. I don't know, but that's
Yes,
100 word
used to
essay
do
by
that.
tomorrow. I just finished my studies. Damn.
because I feel like what you guys are hyping about War 3 CL wasn't really War 3 CL. It was just the community. So like the
Well,
community's not
they
as
built
strong.
around it.
Yeah.
They built a lot around it. There was like a lot to it. There was like the statements at the start, like how are they feeling about it, and then it was like the tournament itself, or like the matches, and then they gave the replays out instantly as well, so people could watch it if they couldn't catch it live. Or
And they had it
whatever.
in IM as well.
Hmm.
I remember like some controversial. I remember like this one time I had to write a statement and I couldn't be bothered. So I literally wrote in the statement, so I'm only writing more text right now because I have to make this many words. And then they gave me penalty points for this.
And also imagine guys, like you have also this virtual betting on the side and give the predictions like I would put my money on this team or this player. They're like these cool things for people to talk about. Like I think like I'm missing this stuff right now a lot.
Tara, did you have to go or?
Yeah, I need to actually go sleep. It's pretty late and I'm
Some
being
of us have jobs, right?
harassed. That's not. He will always keep in mind all those small things and just remind me of them all the time.
Sure.
Stupid asshole.
So let's do some shout outs then for you. Where can people follow you? Twitter, Instagram, OnlyFans, whatever, Twitch?
You can follow me on my Twitter, GoTerror1. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it just at GoTerror. So I'm trying to be active on it. I'm trying to grow it. So I'm mixing my opinions from serious to some memes. So if there's are memes, don't get mad about them. Just jokes. And also, like, I'm trying to stream as much as I can. And you can see me on Twitch, GoTerror. And yeah, I hope you all enjoyed. And I had a lot of fun, so thank you very much, Todd and Bidu, Kevin, and Moonglade for having me here.
Good insight, buddy. Really
And
good insight.
Cheers, man.
I hope we see each other around and as well in the competitive play, right, Bidu? To have some good games.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. I don't think. Wait, hold on. With all the new roster additions, do you think you'll even get a chance to play?
I know, like I love I love competition, man. So like if there's someone better, it motivates me to even get better. Like that's good for the team. That's really good. Like even before we had a couple of strong players, and I had to work my ass off to get a place in the team. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, it's good to see you and enjoy your shirt shopping.
Yeah,
Cheers,
thanks.
Right,
Okay, see ya. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.
All right, we'll have to switch scenes. We're only 4. Moon, are you good? With
Yeah, probably 5 more minutes, and then I'll probably have to jet.
Okay.
Yep.
Damn, it's just gonna be me and Todd alone.
And Kevin.
Got him right where I want
A
him.
few people standing. All right. So, did you want to add anything to the last question, Moonglade? Like anything that's Any tournament format that you miss?
I think definitely WC3L and what was it? NGL? That was one, right?
Yeah,
Is that one? Yeah. I missed that as well. Just the team stuff is basically what we're missing now. I'm really enjoying all the single player like BO3 top 16 tournaments that we've got going on and all that stuff.
Why do you
Just
think
the
that
team stuff?
W3IL doesn't have the same hype?
Maybe it just hasn't been around long enough. There's not enough same sort of money in it or exposure to it. Maybe there's the level of professionalism isn't there because it's not run by like ESL or whatever. I don't know. It's maybe it's just a matter of time before it kind of solidifies as being like a thing everyone will turn to for a good tournament.
I think it's run pretty well. Like I know some of the people that are running it. It's just there needs to be a little bit of extra stuff. Maybe more games covered as well by the streams. I don't think
I think so.
A ton of games covered. And also, if the prize pool was bigger, we'd have guys like Happy, Hawk, Foggy, and stuff. Like all of these guys are not in a tournament, so obviously it's not nearly as interesting. Even though we got like guys like Dust, Sweden, UMAD, all of that. So definitely all of that stuff, I guess, could be improved.
Might be about exposure to some point.
Yeah.
Like stream more games some weekends. Like there's no clan war casted. I mean, it's hard when there's other formats. And then these statements could spice it up a little. And at the moment, when you go on the league page, there's like 5 or 6 different leagues at the moment, with the Bulgarian league, the Polish league, and it just looks like one of all the leagues and nothing special. With some more exposure, maybe we could increase interest. But I think the viewers are good if there's a stream for it. The matches are sick, so should get bigger, like with every season. I mean, we see it with the registrations already. Now there's like 4 divisions. That's
Remo
nice.
asked, I feel like this spam click for Troll Berserker between 2 players is really stupid. How could we smartly solve that? I mean, it's always going to be a matter of ping, right?
I think just add 2. Like no ways in the beginning has, like you usually buy them in the beginning.
You mean add
and
1 per player available? Because otherwise some guy is going to buy both.
Yeah, but you don't, like they are not that imba, and you don't have the resources to just buy 2 in the beginning if you go for a fast expansion, I think.
That's because you play Night Elf. You would love to buy 2 and then like don't have to make archers and like wreck people.
But they're fairly expensive.
That's not the answer.
They're like 240, and
you can't just buy them and then just win. I mean,
yeah, but if you're not making archers, you'll have the goal to buy them. Like a Night Elf is like the
you skip on 2 archers and then humans can still get defend. You usually just want 1 to, let's say, cancel the early towers or so. Okay. You don't have 500 spare gold in the beginning, I think. And the opponent can still get 1.
I think they should do it the way they should have done boots. Like 2 available and only 1 can be bought by each player. I think it's like silly. Yeah. It's silly that you can buy 2 pair of boots and deny them from the opponent, because then like I played the race with the Glass Cannon hero that always gets chased by Demon Hunter, by Blade Master and stuff. It's so annoying. Like I think if there was just a boot reserved in the shop, like Blade Master can still chase the Archmage and do a ton of damage to it. So I think it'd be better if it was just 1 available per player. I think then there wouldn't be this struggle for ping, because otherwise it's all about ping. If we're both standing there with a unit and trying to buy it, and we're both like spamming not only B but also clicking, it's like whoever has the better ping is gonna get it. So that
that was Boots of Speed. That was Dust of Appearance for a long time too.
Do you really want to balance a game around ping there?
No, but that's what I'm saying.
You don't want that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If there's 2 Troll Berserker in the mercenary camp, but each player can only buy 1 at most, then you've already got your Troll Berserker booked for yourself in there.
Yeah, you have a separate cooldown per player. So if I buy it, like for me it says 0 and there's a cooldown, but if you go to the shop, it's available.
That would help a lot.
But then the builds would be different. Like the balance becomes different, because then you got 1 booked in your mercenary camp and in the one across the map. So people can play accordingly and they can consistently get it.
But they need to do something for it, and that should be enough. Like be there.
So I mean, like each player would have just their own sort of set of things they can buy, and that's it. So like each player could buy like everything from the shop once, and then the cooldown happens.
I'm talking about the mercenary camp here mostly.
Now it's just about the Berserker.
Yeah. Picture Terna stance. If you know that no matter what, even if the opponent buys the Troll Berserker there, you can also get your own at your own mercenary camp. Because now it's like, let's say you're playing on NetEase and somebody comes on your mercenary camp, like you're playing as a Chinese, you're never going to get a Troll Berserker if he wants to buy it, which is a little bit stupid. No. Whereas like now, he will be able to get 1 Troll Berserker, you will be able to get 1, But yeah,
Hmm.
then the balance becomes quite a bit different because then you have more mercenaries. Like usually you only had one troll berserker. Now you get like double the amounts in the game potentially.
Yeah, it's not like you can't buy two. Is what he's trying. You can't buy two.
Yeah, there is
Yeah,
one
yeah,
per player.
yeah. I
But
gotcha. I gotcha. Yeah. Yeah.
That would
That's
be
not a bad
cool.
way to do it.
I think that's a
Yeah.
good idea. I think it's a really good idea because it changes the entire. Like, if you don't get it, you're like, fuck, I'm so behind.
It's an easy fix and a good fix, I think.
someone asked if you would like to see Nullwood back. I'm gonna shut that down right now. Fuck no.
Dude, I've heard that too. I've heard a lot of people say like, "Oh, Nullwood was such a good map back in the day." I think Incinerator said that, and I was like, "Are you on drugs?"
Orc player. No surprise.
That map is so bad.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan either. Okay, Ankes asked a really long question. Do you think efficiency creeping hurts summoner heroes like Creep Lord, Blood Mage, Fire Lord, who could have been used as power creeping heroes early on, but because of Ancient of War creeping / militia creep strength of the Road of Necromancy, their window of being strong is very small and they are basically useless once this spell is available, and Blizzard should consider doing some changes that could potentially change that so these heroes could find more use. Yeah, I mean, it's a different debate for each of them in each matchup, right? Like, as human, you need water elementals to creep. That's why it's so hard to go for another hero. Depending on map, sometimes you can go for defend, but I think like the Fire Lord just in general is not that good. And then Creep Lord also kind of same thing. Like, what are you gonna go fucking Beetles? Like, it's like a joke, you know? Like, you would, I guess if you wouldn't want to play Creep Lord, you'd want to go Impale and Spiked Carapace or whatever, but it's also pretty hard to pull off. So Moonglades, I don't want to hold you back for too long. Do you want to head out?
Yeah, I'll probably bail now.
Thank you for
Yeah,
thank you for being on. And what's your
Thank you for
shout-outs?
having me, man. All right, my shout-outs, follow me on Twitter at MoongladeAU. Follow me on Twitch at MoongladeAU. And yeah, that's basically it. I try and stream as much as I can. I just keep playing on NetEase until global matchmaking has disappeared or fixed. And that's my life.
All right, thank you very much.
Yep.
Cheers, man.
I'll put all of
Pleasure,
your links
guys.
in the VOD, and we'll see you later.
Awesome. See you later. Thanks, guys.
See you, dude.
All right, let me try and fix another one of those.
Well, we just lost all the ladies in the chat now.
Pretty much. Cam off. Yeah, this looks fine. Can you guys say something real quick?
Hello.
Hello?
Okay, still working. That's good. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I think I pretty much answered Ankes's question. Like, it's everything is like very situational. Every race has like a reason why a certain hero is going to be better. Kind of. How come Blood Mage is not a viable first hero? Is he bad? If so, why? Yeah, that's pretty much what I just answered. Like, when you play human, you usually have to play with Archmage first because it's so much easier to creep. It's super solid. You get the aura from the start. It's going to make everything you get on tier 2 better. Your second hero, your casters that you're going to get. It's very hard to play without casters. But usually if you do play without casters, that's why sometimes you'll see Mount tanking first with Blood Mage second and all that stuff. Do you guys see any questions?
Yeah. Puni Walk of Tree is asking, what do you think about maps with boats instead of zeppelins? I think boats have really a lot of potential, and at the moment they are
Really?
like really strong and really cheap and almost impossible to kill. So at the moment I think they are imbalanced. But those are just some numbers that you can like reduce a little. And if you would just have like small paths, be able to create, let's say, drops with boats. You don't need like islands. I think islands are imbalanced. But just have some paths and some shortcuts on the map that you can access by boat, or like at least be quicker with a boat. And I think you could do something with that. And I actually loved the maps that we had that had boats. Like, we had some cups where those were in. And I think you could see some interesting plays with it without being imbalanced. Just like
how about airplanes? No, I'm just kidding. I don't know about boats personally. I feel like it would be a little bit of a gimmick. Like, I don't know. I guess I would have to see it, but I'm picturing some pretty ridiculous stuff when I'm thinking about boats. So personally, I don't see it. But maybe we can get. I think it would be cool to get one map from the map makers with boats to like try it out in some
Now
tournaments.
we need to see it more for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we basically saw nothing, didn't we? I mean, there was like 1 or 2 maps, and we don't have a good. We don't have good information, good data yet. I think.
Well, I think Twisted Meadows is a good indicator for if boats work, right? Because how often do you use the islands? You need a zeppelin. You need a way like to get there. So I guess the boat would be the same thing. Like, is it economically viable? Late game, yes. But I don't know. It'd be different. Like you can only get there from a boat. Is that what you're saying?
No. I what I want to say is like is explicitly not have situations where you can only access it by a boat.
Oh,
like just
okay,
have
okay.
some paths on the map. You know, some rivers where you can use a boat to be quicker.
Oh, like
have
the boat,
some-
you don't buy it; it's just there.
Maybe, yeah. Or we can play around with it, make it cheap, make it expensive, and then we see it. Like, let's say you have a boat and you can make some footy swap inside the main base or something. That could be interesting. Not game breaking, but interesting. If there's counterplay, I think it's okay.
The Wraith 89 asked, Todd, what do you think about some hero abilities like Stomp, Clap, Coil, Nova, Auras, etc.? Do you think they need to be nerfed, buffed? And if yes, can you find someone to redesign them instead of waiting for Activision Blizzard to do that? Don't you think we're at the moment where they won't approach us and everything is in our hands? So I think like it's okay to have some strong spells in the game, but when something is like way too strong, definitely it should be nerfed. Like I think like the Old Keeper was like a testament of that. I think currently like the one main one that I'm thinking about that definitely I would like to see nerfed is Stomp. Like the 5-second stun for 6 seconds cooldown is a little silly for sure.
Yeah, Stomp's a
And
little scary.
I'm a little bit skeptical and even pessimistic about Blizzard changing some of that stuff. Like, you know, right now it's like radio silence. So I'm sure that there will be more patches coming, but I think everybody would have liked to see a patch every week and for them to consistently keep on improving stuff. So right now I'm kind of in a state of mind where like I would like to see us, the community, work towards like improving some stuff ourselves. Even as far as like balance go, if it's like I don't want a map where like Stomp is different than on the other maps. But definitely, I think the stuff like the items that we talked about, imagine if like in tournaments we started using a Conceal Hill where like the items are like more balanced. I think that'd be really sick. Like it's not super realistic either, like, you know, but if we decided like some of the people in charge, like let's say Back to Warcraft, wanted to make that kind of stuff happen, they could just collected feedback from players. They definitely could make it happen. And then just like, you know, GG Clan Cup, whatever, like my Invitational could start using these maps. And I think it'd be a strong step towards like helping create balance ourselves upon general consensus that maybe Blizzard would have to follow eventually and add that into the game.
I mean, I think like Blizzard, like if there's any Blizzard Muppets like watching your stream right now, like the only way that they can actually like redeem themselves, and this would actually work, is to have like a neutral community manager or whatever and pay them like nothing, because there's people that will do it for free, and just like give them a seat at the table if there even is one, like, and just have like them come to people like us for feedback, and then they actually live in the Blizzard headquarters and they go to meetings and they say, look, like the game's unplayable right now. You need to do something about it, and then actually like make his like feedback matter, because like, dude, what we're saying isn't like rocket science. You know what I mean? Like, I would do it for free. Groundcakes Beta should do the job. I would do it for free. Fly me to California. I'll sit in the meeting. I'll call them all dumb, and we'll get the game fixed. But it's like there's no communication at all. Like there's zero. There's none, and it's so easy because we're all so vocal. Like the community is actually so vocal. Like we all care. And why do we care about a game where the company doesn't even care? It's not even a playable game. Like the game drops. Like you can't even click on units. The hitboxes don't work. The game is broken. So I think like the only way to redeem yourself, Blizzard, if you're even watching, which you're probably not, is to just hire somebody to act as that neutral thing. They'll get the feedback, they'll give it to you, and then just fix it. Because like I don't think the people at Blizzard that work there now, I mean, we saw that Blizzard dev at DreamHack, and he literally was just watching the gym Discord on his phone, doing nothing. And then like Todd, you're saying you're sitting there casting, you don't know what to say. I'm sitting there watching, I don't know what to say. And then fucking we still haven't got a statement from Blizzard. And it's been like a month. So it's like there's nobody.
Yeah,
nobody.
but there's not going to be a statement. That's just not the way the things work. At least, like, I know it's stupid, but I've accepted that. Like, what you're saying is basically like, I always make that comparison. Like, what about the politics? it would be nice if they started telling us the truth. That's just never gonna happen. Like,
See,
of
Todd,
course
we're
they have
tainted.
to conceal a
We're
whole
tainted.
bunch.
We're
Yeah.
tainted. We've been taking shit for so long that we're so used to it. This isn't normal, bro. This isn't normal. Like the community's so like we're awesome. We're literally been taking shit for so long that we're like, oh, a company doesn't give a fuck. That's like normal to us. It's not normal in other games. Like Valve really cares about CS:GO, and if people like if a pro player tweets something, they at least address it. Like they might tell them, no, you just lost, you know, go fuck yourself, or like, yeah, this is a big change. We're fixing it right now. We apologize. Like, and that's why they're blossoming. You know, like like we're just so used to taking shit that we think it's normal. It's not.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's normal. I'm saying like I kind of want realistic stuff. You know, like I'm not gonna go out there and like protest in the streets and say like stop telling us the truth, like to the politics and whatever, because I just know that that's impossible for that to happen. So I feel like for a big company to make a statement where like they admit they messed up and stuff, like for something like that, like it's just not enough a priority. I know that's never gonna happen.
That's
So
where
I prefer focusing on the realistic stuff, like them releasing patches, fixing the game slowly, little by little. And like,
Well,
all
they
that.
are listening somewhat because these patches are related to what people are talking about.
Yeah.
But how much are they listening to? Who's listening to it? Can we reach out to somebody? Is it just a fake email?
And that's
where
the
people...
same thing. Like that's what I was just talking about. Like there is no way to know about that, and they're not gonna come right out and say like, all right, yeah, this guy was in charge of that. This guy was in charge of that. Like I've tried to get some Blizzard employees on this show, but again, it's a very big company. Like if I'm somebody that works in a PR department, I would never allow a Blizzard employee to come on a show like this to talk about all this stuff because it's just too risky. Like they could say something that could set off the community and stuff. So they're kind of like laying low and maybe waiting for this to like blow over and stuff. But the thing is, we live for this game, so we're still gonna keep on playing it, and we're still gonna keep on talking about it, and it's never gonna blow over for us. Maybe for some other people that were trying out Reforged and
it's just
got
super
it refunded.
shady, man. Like it's shady and mysterious and all that shit. Like the StarCraft 2 dev that I talked to at Anaheim, he told me they take like 6-hour courses a week just going on PR and things that you're supposed to say. So if someone comes up to you and says, hey, why is the game not getting fixed? Like they have an actual cue card to read out in real life. Like if I'm like I was talking to the guy, he was awkward as fuck. And I'm like, dude, just be a normal guy. Like we're just standing, just be no. And he's like super like brainwashed to like try to manipulate me. Like, dude, you're not gonna manipulate me. Like dude, just be normal. Just be a normal person.
Wait, what are you
But,
talking
like,
about?
I talked to a guy at Anaheim. And he like whistle blew for me, and it was great. But he was awkward as fuck, and he was literally telling me that Blizzard employees take like a 6-hour a week course on like PR management. And like when someone's like coming up to you saying like do this, like that's what you're supposed to say. So it's all manipulation and shady shit. And it's like when he's telling me this, I'm like, oh, we're fucked. Like this is just gonna be the way it is. It's fucked. And Neo actually just guessed who it was. Yeah, Neo, it was him. And it was so awkward. And I was like, dude, just tell me. And the guy was like, oh, you know, I can't really get away with it. Because they're making good money and they don't want to get fired. But like, dude, how do you sleep at night? Like you're getting paid to do fuck all. Congratulations, man. I hope you got kids who are taking care of your kids. That's fine. How do you sleep at night, dude? You're a part of the problem.
Honestly, I don't like to talk about like this kind of stuff like that because like we don't know. We just don't know what exactly everybody's doing behind the scene. I'm sure there's a lot of passionate people about video games at Blizzard. I don't think I don't think you just go work there to feed your family and you don't give a shit about video games.
What you're saying is that like people do care, but they don't have enough power. Is that what you're saying? Like people do care, but
it's like that all the
in a
time.
big company for sure.
Or they're all doing this. Every Friday a paycheck comes in. I don't know. What I was told
what do you want
is
them
that
to
they
do?
all
Like, what do you want them to do? Other than trying to make things
they want
better.
to keep their jobs too. I mean, they have someone telling them what to do, what to say, but that's how it works in like 99% of the companies.
Yeah.
And of course, he let's say he's in the Warcraft team, but can he say what he wants in private and then it will be used against him? I mean, it's dangerous. You don't just find another job. And if you ask how can they sleep at night, I mean, they are doing their job and they work with the resources they have. That's what I think. I mean, the project management was bad on many levels. But the people that are in the team, I think they try their best.
I don't know. It doesn't need to be like this though. What I'm saying is like it gets personal at some point. Like when you're flying from like Todd, you're flying from Germany, man. You know what I mean? You're a caster. You're trying to actually take the game seriously. You're trying to make that's your job. And then like they don't give a shit, and then you have these disasters happen at a tournament and nobody's accountable. And it's like dude, it gets personal because like, are we wasting our time? Yeah, we love the game. We're never gonna stop. But like, where's any help? Like, it's ridiculous. It's honestly ridiculous. And then we actually get actual devs there sitting right next to me doing fucking nothing. Not even
what do you
like,
want them to do if they're game developers? They're not expert in like game bugs and necessarily. Or
then tell us, say apologize. Say, I don't know, dude. It's not my department.
maybe it's
I
not
don't
their
even work
fault.
there.
Maybe it's not their department.
No, maybe it's not. I don't even work there, dude. To be honest, I'm sick to my stomach as well. I'm gonna try to message my boss, see if he gives a fuck. Like, there was nothing though. He just kind of like disappeared into the crowd, and we're like, yeah, that's the
Yeah, but that's
Blizzard
because
guy.
he probably can't do that. It's like there's always like a secrecy thing. Like you can't really talk much about this stuff.
Because he's gonna lose his job.
Yeah, and also like it's just bad in general, something like bad to do. I'm sure I don't think that anybody of them that was there, they just sat and like they felt great about it, or they didn't feel bad. For sure, anybody that saw that what happened with the drops and stuff, they felt bad about it. But like nobody even knows like what was the reason. Like we theorized that maybe it was because of the graphics being different and stuff. But we don't.
But
even
I could
know.
live with that. Like he didn't even introduce himself to me as the dev. He said his name was Ryan, and I'm like, well, I don't give a fuck. I don't know what that means. You're just Ryan. You're just a dude.
I
And he's
think
like a
maybe
Blizzard
because he
dev.
was there like privately, you know, and not
Yeah,
explicitly to work
Kevin,
with
he's
them.
embarrassed. Kevin, he's
I
embarrassed.
don't think
mean,
that
that
any
too,
Blizzard
but-
employee was there in the capacity of a Blizzard employee.
Yeah,
in
it was no
Anaheim.
representation of Blizzard there. They were just interested maybe and wanted to go there because it was close.
And the worst, the cherry on top, is CSGO's right fucking beside us, and I was over there. The fucking hype was insane. Complexity was losing, and then they fucking came back. I was like, dude, this is a fucking community. Like, the fucking devs are there. Everyone's there. Big team owners. Like, it's hype as fuck. And then, like, we're in the fucking crowd, and our game's desyncing, and I look over, and fucking CSGO's going nuts, and I'm looking at my game going, oh, okay, it's 2020. Maybe when I'm fucking 50, we'll get something figured out. Dude, it's bullshit. It's honestly bullshit. And the problem is we all defend them, and we shouldn't. We should all shit on them.
I disagree like that we're defending them. I'm not defending like Blizzard as the company. Like I've said it, like it's a huge fuck up Reforged, and I'm very unhappy with it. But I don't like saying that they don't care about it, they have no passion and stuff, because you just don't know. I'm sure, like, again, I don't think people go and work at Blizzard if they don't have any passion for the game. I'm talking about the game developers in general. And like I don't want to be as harsh as saying they should just like resign, you know, if like the project is a failure. Maybe they're still in there. They're still trying to make things work. They have to work with deadlines. They have bosses that are telling them to do things a certain way.
And just the team size.
I don't
too.
know how much you've worked for a big company, but I have worked for a big company before.
I work for a huge company.
Yeah, and
huge
like,
steel company.
So like you don't always
The
get to
communication's
do...
ridiculous. Our CEO sends us emails. No, I don't relate. I work for a huge steel company. The communication is key. All the way up. My team leader, his boss, his coach, his that. Communication's nuts. No.
Yeah, but that's because things are probably going good in your company, or like...
Oh, things are going real good. I'm eating real good, Todd. Don't worry, I'm eating real good.
Yeah, but I mean, like, imagine if there was some serious problems that were out of your control, and then you're part of the company, and then you go online on the show, and some guy is like condemning you for this. He's like, "Why the fuck isn't Bido resigning or something?" It's like, imagine you did your job as you were supposed to, and like this is out of your control, and then you show up at an event and they are blaming you for like the way something happened. Like, maybe it's not exactly in your hands. So I don't like saying like that. You know, everybody like nobody cares or like this kind of stuff. The fact is, we don't know exactly what happened. There is for sure some people to blame. There is some incompetence. The game launch wasn't good enough. Like these things we know, but I don't want to start saying that, you know, everybody like doesn't care or something in the company. That's like, in my opinion, too much. And
That's
I
not
don't
what
want to
I'm
defend them.
saying.
Again, I've said, like the launch was like a disaster. Like,
Yeah.
0.5 on Metacritic. That's like unacceptable. Like.
No, I agree, Todd, and I'm not blaming that dev. But I'm saying that if it like there's a way to go about it, okay? If you're shady at the event and you're dodgy and you're like trying to be sketchy, then sorry, dude, you're a part of the problem. And I don't even care if it's your department. But if you come up to me and say, dude, it's not my department, I'm fucking pissed, that's something. Like, don't be shady and weird, because then I'll just peg you into the same group because I have nothing to go off. Like, that guy's part of the problem. Literally, like nothing's being done. I don't care what department you're in, but if you say like, "Hey man, it's not my goal. I'm fucking, I don't know what to say, dude. Thorzane's pissed." Then I'll be like, "Oh, that's fine. He said something." But like, if you're being, he's being fucking shady as fuck and socially weird. And I was like, "Dude, you're suspect." I was fucking putting the pieces together. I was being Sherlock Holmes all fucking weekend, dude. And I was like, fuck this, dude. You know, that's what I'm saying. I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying, like, if you aren't, like, if you're being shady as fuck too, then, like, are you just riding this train for a paycheck? Because if you are, then get the fuck out of the way. You're useless.
I just imagine Bidu like in his room with papers on his wall,
Dude,
like
I'm-
a detective analyzing everything, like in a criminal show or something, and then like an FBI finding the problems of Reforge.
I mean, like,
when it's
even
just
if,
about
even
like
if he said,
resources for the
even
project.
if he said,
There's like
even if-
unwashed
you do-
dishes
like
everywhere.
Sherlock
Like,
Holmes.
you can't see,
even if
you
even
can't see
if
the
he said to
wallpaper
me-
anywhere. It's just photos of like Tarzan disconnecting.
So
like,
it started in
close
like
up on the-
1725, you know, in a
just
small
fucking
village.
pinpointing everything.
Then-
No, but what I'm
then
saying is, like,
spiraled
if
out
he
of
would have said
control.
anything, even if he would have said, Bidu, honestly, I don't want to lose my job, man. I would have been like, fair enough. He didn't say anything. He was just fucking sketchy. And then I'm like, dude, you're a low-end dev, and you're sketchy as fuck? Like, good luck going up that
Yeah,
chain.
but that's because you're a fucking degenerate who just always says what he thinks. That's why you flamed me the first 2 times I joined your channel and I was ready to enjoy some
no,
Dust
no,
League.
I didn't flame you. I just
No,
thought
you
that
did.
kicking
Like,
Hit-
you were trying to
No,
get
I-
into an argument with me. And
I
stuff.
thought kicking Hitman was a bad call.
Yeah,
because
so basically you have no filter, but you need to understand, like, some people, they're gonna have a filter there. Like, it's normal, like self-preservation.
People
okay,
are
you can
different,
have a
like-
filter, but this guy's not even a human being, Todd. He's like a shell. Like, when I was talking to the Blizzard people, I'm like, do you even go outside? Like, say it with me, sunlight. You know, like, they're all like sketchy, and it's like, this is the company.
Yeah, because you're such a functioning human being yourself.
Well, I don't know. I'm a pretty social guy. I mean, I'm definitely on the spectrum, maybe. I've never been tested, but there's definitely something there. But what I'm saying is, I don't know, dude. I'm just saying, just be a normal human being. Like, how is that hard?
Oh my god. Who has this question? The ref.
I had a good time. Obviously, guys. Obviously, this is the last time on the show. I've had a great time.
I just want to add, it was so fun. I woke up in the middle of the night, you know, and then I just opened Twitch and I watched your stream, and then I saw this huge fight or war, more like, with Todd and the NA community. It was just sick.
Wait, who was I trash talking? I don't trash talk often on my channel.
When Todd had the
Oh,
big fight
okay.
in chat, and
Okay, hold on.
now you're on
To
the
be-
show. It's amazing. Like,
To be fair,
Worlds
me
is
and
coming together.
Todd were never friends. We never talked. It's not like we weren't friends. We never talked to each other. We weren't like we're in Warcraft 3 community, but different aspects. Like, whatever Todd did wasn't related to me. So when he kicked Hitman, obviously I'm going to take Hitman's side. And then I was like, well, if you ask any NA player, do you think I'm a bad player? They're just going to say yeah because it's hilarious. And then you're Todd, so they're gonna say yeah because it's gonna tilt you. That should just be common knowledge.
Yeah.
So when you say that to Hitman, he's a master troll. You think I'm a troll? He's a master troll. Like, that's why he's gonna say that to you. And then, like, you kicked him out of the tournament, which is fine. You can do whatever you want in your tournament. I do whatever the fuck I want in my tournament. Because we're fucking bosses, dude. High five. Like, you know, like, and that's what I tried to explain to you. Like, when we're in charge, we can do whatever the fuck we want, you know?
Well, that's not what you explained to me. You said that it was too harsh to kick him. You said, like, I kick him and then I call him an idiot or whatever. Like, it was like uncalled
Oh,
for
okay.
and
So
stuff. Like,
my
you were just
argument
trying to
was
get into an
okay. Hold
argument
on.
with me.
No. Yo, you actually just refreshed my memory. Okay, so your reason for kicking him was because he called you a bad player. Okay, that's not even foul language. But then you kick him and then you call him a fucking moron. So I'm like, well, if I call somebody a bad player, you know, they won't cry. But you just call him a fucking moron.
Well,
so like the
and
double
the difference
standard.
is,
But
if
then
he
I'm
kicks
like,
me
but then
from
I'm
his
like, dude,
tournament,
it's
I'm
your
not gonna cry
tournament.
about it.
No, but I'm like, it's your tournament. You can call people whatever you want. Call them whatever you want. It's fine. But I was taking his side. That's all it was.
Yeah, blindly
That's all.
and without good
Honestly,
reason. You were taking his
Todd,
side.
I think we're gonna be best friends. Okay,
I don't know about that.
I think
Let's
this is
make
the start. This is the start of something beautiful.
Yeah,
the crowdfunding Bidu for like DreamHack Sweden.
let's go on a camping trip together. We can figure out the map balance and everything.
I don't think I'll come back from that.
Take
trip.
Ina.
I don't think
Have
I'll
some
be
fun.
back. He'll be like, yeah, he fell off a rock and he's gone.
All right, guys. Any more questions in the chat?
I think people just want this banter. I think they just like this. They don't even want us to talk about anything.
Yeah. We shouldn't even have a show about Warcraft 3. We should just like start talking drama and stuff. Like, it's like they're more interested in that. I see the chat go crazy. Like, since we've been going on this discussion.
I think
Nice.
people are enjoying it. I mean, it's not like we're saying anything weird.
Yeah, I mean, to go back to that whole discussion about the Blizzard employees, like, I sympathize for anybody that works in a big company and that cares, and their hands are like kind of tied. I've been in this position before. So like, Kevin, do you work for a big company? Do you know what it's like? Or
I did work for PricewaterhouseCoopers and Ernst & Young. So yeah, I think it's a lot like if a project fails, it starts at the very top usually, because they would have enough good people, but if they don't like think it's important enough and they don't have the resources, it's just doomed to fail. And if you add bad communication to it, yeah, it's just not a good scenario. You can have the best people, but if you don't have enough of them, it won't work.
yeah.
So that's what I think. Unfortunately, but that's how it is at the moment. I mean, you could hire an intern and just let him post an update of what the dev team did each day. Let him post it in the evening, and that's the only thing he does for like
that'd be great. Walked into the office, made a pot of coffee, went home. Fine.
If they are bad at it, that's how it is, unfortunately. And we can either decide to like stop caring about the game, or we do what we did and we keep the scene alive with tournaments and content. And
okay, here's a
need to
question
hope
for
for
you
the
guys.
best, yeah.
Imagine you're one of the higher up at Blizzard and one of the people calling the shots. You look at the absolute shit show that the Reforged launch has been. And I think like those people that are higher up, I doubt that these are the ones that care about the games, yet they're the ones calling the shots. How would you handle it? Would you tell your employees, all right, well, we made a lot less money than we thought here, but you know what? Let's do a solid here for the community and like let's fix this game. Let's be very active. We're gonna invest more money into it, even though we lost money, or something, like we didn't make as much as we should have. Or would you take the route of saying, let's work on the next project. We're gonna put out a few fires on this game that the launch was terrible in. Minimum communication. Nobody says a fucking thing that could put us in trouble and make things worse. Like, which route would you be? I'm pretty sure you'd take the second one. So,
no.
Wait, what?
No, man, I have shame and humility. I'm a human being. If my product is shit, I've owned Dust Gaming for 8 years. Like, whenever we've had rough patches, I'm embarrassed. I'm ashamed. I go to the woodwork. I write some shit down. I change shit. I try to innovate. I don't sit there and ride this shit wave and then say, you know what, maybe nobody's paying attention or we can get away with it. That's just not who I am.
Well, that's why you're never going to be a CEO and full of money.
Oh, well, whatever. It is what it is. You know, I do all right on my job, and this is a hobby that I enjoy, and whatever.
I'm just saying, talk to me really. Okay, that's a bad question because you have no filter and you do things your exact way. But
I'm also in a position where I am the leader of something. I do own something. I'm the boss.
Okay, but how many people do you think are like that? What do you think are the chances that the people in charge at Blizzard would want that?
I don't know. I'm one of a kind. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree, dude. I just don't like. I don't know their situation. Todd, that's what you said. We don't know their situation. Okay. I don't know if the guy's like on his third divorce and he needs to be the CEO because he's got child support up the ass. I have no idea. Or he's just clueless and he's relying on stocks. Or he's just clueless and he doesn't care. Or he knows he doesn't care. I have no idea. It could be so many things. But there's a difference between Blizzard and Activision and Dust Gaming. Yeah, one of them is likable. Any truers? But yeah.
Kevin, what do you think about this point?
I'm not. I don't know. I think it's really hard to judge on an individual level here. So I think it's really about the project itself, and that failed. And this comes from top management and maybe laid off employees, and they would have the resources, and there must be a reason that features that were there and that they have, let's say, an SC2 or anything, and what they do for this community is not existing in Reforged at the moment. So I just look at it like not in an optimistic way, but rather just pure realism, I'd say.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lack of resources on every level of analysis, and we need to accept it. I mean, what will we change? We can write hate tweets, or we can like at least try to provide constructive feedback, which is not our job, but that's what we can do, and we love the game, so I think that's what we will do. So,
it's what's more frustrating was the game comes out and it's less advanced than the game it's trying to succeed.
No.
Like, how are there less features in the revamped game? Like, we're setting the bar. Like, I didn't even know a bar could be set that low. It's like making Halo 7 with less than Halo 1 features. What do you mean? Like, why is this happening? We're fucked. Pull the ripcord.
Yeah. Xander Dorm asks, do you think the communication between Blizzard and Lemon Sky Studios was as bad as to the community? I mean, that's like something I know so little about. that the equivalent of that question would be if you ask me, like, do you think Sagittarius are going to do better in next month's horoscope? Like, I have no fucking clue about all of this. So
What
I
I
don't even
what
know
I
what
can
Sky Studios is. What's that?
it's the studio that designed like the Reforged graphics, I think, and there was a tweet, like a post on Reddit about it, and I don't know if it was like a super major troll, but there was some inside info, so I think it was true. And the guy said the communication wasn't really great, and in the beginning we didn't even know the design was meant for like an RTS game. We thought they would just look for the like from a one-on-one perspective, let's say like in World of Warcraft or anything. So
Yeah, and I think
that was pretty
graphics
confusing
people-
to me, that they didn't know what they were doing actually. So that's
Oh,
maybe
that's
the reason why it looks bad from above. But,
yeah. Snesan asked, what is the best way to try and improve, play a lot, and focus on a certain build, or mix it up with studying replays from pros and trying stuff out for yourself? I would say probably it's a good balance of playing to studying, and like maybe streams won't always like teach you the most, but like watching replays and really figuring out like what the creep routes are on each map that the top layers of each race are doing. What do you think, Kevin?
Yeah, I think like obviously you need to put in some work and you need to play the game just to get faster, to get your micro going, and yeah, as soon as like you are faster, you have more options. But then it's like you say, it's about studying. Like one example for me is like Ancient of War creeping. I was doing it for a while and I was doing it okay, but not perfectly. And I lost games because it wasn't perfect. And then I like studied it and I checked the timings, like when is Moon finished with this creep? When is Lolite finished? When am I finished? And then I just improved that. And then some harass was just not possible anymore. The Blade Master was too late if I was in time. And I just thought, okay, the Blade Master harass kills my creeping. But it's, yeah, if you work on the details and you get them right, you can just like get better, like step by step.
Yeah.
Just get one goal. Let's say my next goal is scouting, and in the next 20 ladder games, I will just focus on scouting. Even if I like do some other mistakes, but I try to improve scouting in 20 games. Then I improve something else in 20 other games, and then I try to combine that for another 20 games. You know, and I think that's how you get better. Don't change everything up like each game. Just set some small goals, make a list, and then work on them. And obviously talk to good players. I think there's nothing better really. Talk to a good player of your ways, and he will help you in 5 minutes, like what you won't learn from 10 hours of watching streams. Really, that's what I can say.
Grumcakes asked, Todd, are too many tournaments a bad thing? I think like too much saturation of like content and tournaments is a bad thing. I don't think we're there in Warcraft 3, even though there's a lot of tournaments these days. Like that's something that happened to any games that had like a lot of success. In the past, it's happened to StarCraft, where like the game was like so big, or even like CSGO as well. Like these games are like so popular that everybody's trying to run their tournament. Everybody wants like to host a tournament, get views, and like all of that. And when you have matchups happening every single day, they kind of lose their interest because we're always seeing the same people playing over and over against one another. But like it has to be pretty extreme, I think, for it to become like really bad. But I think it's good to have diversity and everything. And like I said, I don't think like in Warcraft 3 we're there, even though like we have a lot of tournaments and it's usually like a lot of the same people going deep and stuff. So that's why I think something like a team league becoming bigger, like either Warcraft 3 Info League or like maybe ESL is going to bring back WC3L. I think that'd be very good for the scene because we have a lot of solo tournaments, maybe not enough 2v2. But yeah, I do think that eventually it could become bad. What do you guys think about this?
I think oversaturation is good and bad. Like I said, I think it's bad if like a big tournament comes out. Like look at Rising Star Cup. You know what I mean? They come out of the woodwork and it looks really great on paper, and then they die in a month and they're gone. And there's other cups that have been around for a long time that have like community people still pumping it through that don't get that much clout or maybe that much exposure. So it could be good and bad if you have too many of like the shittier tournaments getting more push, I guess. But I think it's always good to have something to play because you never really know when you're free anymore. We're all older. So I know my schedule changes all the time. So it's nice to have like that Wednesday tournament during the day when I'm off or like the Friday weekend, you know. Really depends. So I think oversaturation can be good too. It really just comes down to like, you know, who's running it. Is it a long time thing? Is it just a one-off? Or I mean, I'm really disappointed with AMD and Rising Star. I thought that was a sure thing, and that they were getting the numbers, they were getting everything. So I don't know why they jumped out, but you know, that's not very good.
Yeah. I'm enjoying the like weekly cups. Let's say the GGE's cup with one map. no bracket basically, and one map entire tournament best of one. I think that's refreshing, and I mean, I think the more the better. But thing is, at least like one cup each day, that would be sick. I think that would be really cool. If you have like 10 each day, okay, it won't help. You can't watch all of them. So, but having something all the time, basically, that would be cool.
When will the next town hall meeting be? Next week, Wednesday 18th, and we're gonna have Scott, Longwalk, and Duro, I think, as guests.
I'm so excited to have Filthy on, man. He's a really nice guy. So
maybe we'll have one more. We'll see.
Maybe I'll go on.
Maybe not. So do you think the Blizzard employees were embarrassed with Reforged? I don't know, actually. Like, I feel maybe, like, you know, the head developer of the game, or like whoever was on the team, maybe, with the way it turned out. But like I said, maybe a lot of things were out of their control, you know? Like, I remember when I worked for ESL and they made, like, it's not even on my game, but there was a competition, maybe Counter-Strike, and they decided to have it on Facebook, which was very controversial as, like, the only streaming platform. And there was, like, a shitstorm around it. Maybe it was Dota, actually. I don't know. Like, that's like if you ask me, like, if you say Blizzard employees, let's say, like, you ask me as an ESL employee back then if I was embarrassed. Well, no, not really, because it's not my call and it's not even my game. But if that had happened to my game, maybe I would have been a little bit tilted and maybe even embarrassed. But again, like, you know, that's not really my call. It's hard to be embarrassed about something that you didn't call yourself. So I guess the people that directly were involved with, like, the designing of the game and, like, everything around it, maybe those could be. I don't know.
I think in a big company, some of the people that were involved, they just had like a small task and they did that, and they don't really care about the project. But why would they? It's not like one person did everything. And you know, if you start a project and it fails, and you get really bad feedback, of course you take it personal and you might be embarrassed. But if you are just like one out of 1,000 people involved, let's say, I think it's you don't really care. You just do your job basically.
Yeah.
And the graphic people, you know, they care about the feedback for the graphics and not about Reforged in general. That's what I think. So some of them for sure, some of them probably not at all.
Todd, can we take the game back and make it independently developed and taken care of by the community? I feel like it's very hard to do that now that, you know, Reforged was released and, like, we're supposed to be getting more patches, right? Like, we just don't know when, we just don't know what's going to be patched. So right now, it's kind of hard because it's so much, I assume it's so much work. Again, it's not something that I know a lot about. Like, us as community, or like the people that do content creation, the people that stream, we definitely can do our best. But as far as having like another server, like a W3 Arena or other stuff like this, I just think it's like so complicated that it's unlikely to happen now. Like, the reason it happened before, like, why did it happen? Because Warcraft 3 was like, quote unquote,
couldn't even play.
Right? Like, there was no more patches
like the ping was
coming out.
bad too.
Yeah,
ping was like 200. Yeah,
exactly. There was no support at all from Blizzard, and then some people realized that if they want to have more playable condition, it's up to them to make it happen. So somebody created W3 Arena, bless him, and then there was like this entire different server where people could play with better ping, different maps, everything. They could they created their own community around what they thought was the right playing conditions for the game that they liked. But then now that the game has gotten some new patches and stuff, like all of that, it'd be very hard to kind of like recreate that. It's not impossible. I think if Blizzard has a bunch of patches and then they say, all right, that's it, we're done, there's not going to be any more, maybe, depending on the current state of the game and everything, maybe the community would want to have something like that happen again. But it's like not super likely and not in the near future, I think, but maybe.
We have Pat in the chat, actually. He said it's not worth
Pat's
working
here.
on it.
Yeah, I just read that.
Yeah, not worth
Dude,
working on
Pat,
it.
we fucking love you, dude. And if you made a War 3 Arena again, we would definitely support it. But I don't think you're gonna get the Blizzard support. I mean, the game's not even playable right now. I have a question for you guys, because you guys play NetEase. Are they using, like, does NetEase have their own game, or are they using the Blizzard Reforge now?
Yeah, they're using Blizzard Reforge.
Okay,
NetEase
now,
is
yeah.
basically
Their own-
Blizzard China, I think, by the way.
Yes, it's
Yeah, but
Blizzard.
they're different though, right? I think they are their own separate entity.
And the
Yeah.
thing is, if you want to start as a foreign company, if you want to start a business in China, you need to work together with a Chinese company, and that's what they did with NetEase. So all of them need to do that if you want to conduct business in China. That's what I know.
Because I definitely feel like NetEase used to be its own game, separate to like TFT and shit. You know what I mean? It felt different. It played different. It was like the same game, but it was different. But I feel like now, like since the patch, like they use Reforged the game, but I'm not sure if like all the shitty parts are in it though. NetEase still feels like a different Warcraft 3 game.
NetEase is like a huge company. Maybe just things change and they acquired some other license or anything, but they are like really huge, I think.
Yeah.
And now I think it's the same game. Like I didn't download anything new really. It just starts my Warcraft.
I'm really bummed out about the fucking Team League thing on NetEase. I think that'd be great. Tons of money, tons of fucking exposure, but I mean they gotta cater to us somehow, man. Like we're just too busy Monday to Friday. We got no time.
Yeah, like what about time zone?
Yeah, I'm not even sure when the matches are, Todd, but I think they're at night in China. So that's like early morning Eastern, which is even earlier Western. So I think if it starts at like 7 p.m. in
So
China...
there you go. You can go play the matches before work.
Wow,
They're catering to you perfectly.
Not sleep at all. It's actually worth 120 large, but I don't know if everyone's going to get on board with that, you know?
Yeah.
It's just really, I don't know. They didn't really think about us at all. But then they cater to us. They go, oh, foreigners sign up. But it's like, dude, we want to. Like, I had a 4-man lineup, like, made, and it was going to be Pog Champ. And then everyone's telling me, dude, I don't think the fucking schedule is going to work. And I'm like, oh, true. So.
I guess, yeah, we just need to look more into it and stuff. But, yeah, like, I think, obviously, like, I mean, no offense, but when they created this league, they were not thinking about North America at all. And, like...
Dude, Cruncher, Hitman, Long Walk... in 2v2, NA has always had the best 2v2 in the world.
I'm not saying that like NA is bad. I'm just saying like it's not your priority. As like you create a giant league with 120k, you're not thinking like all these those hillbillies over there, like you know they're gonna play in this.
I'd be wanting to see that NA 2v2 though against China on LAN. I think NA's always had the best 2v2. They always have, since forever, and it's never changed because we grind it all the time.
Yeah,
like all our. Ooh, I don't know, man. You give me a European 2v2, we'll crack them. We'll crack them.
Well,
you guys
are confident. I'll give you that, but I don't know about having the best 2v2. Like,
I think we've always had a strong 2v2, and I think like consistently.
Yeah.
You know, but
anyway, you guys can sign up and play before going to work, and then we'll see.
True.
We'll see what happens. Okay, I think that's gonna be it for today. Let's do some shout outs, and then I'll give a few parting words. So, Kevin, go first. Where can people find you?
Sure. So, first of all, on Twitch, I had some hardware issues for a couple of months, but now I'm like getting a completely new streaming setup, and I will keep streaming again in basically German, French, and English. Mostly Night Elf gameplay, and yeah, I focus on getting better, so you will see me playing cups and like ladder plus commentary. That's it, and it's just twitch.tv/KevinWarcraft3. And on Twitter, I'm quite active when it comes to Warcraft, and it's just like how it's below the webcam, KevinWarcraft3 1. So yeah, feel free to follow and enjoy some Night Elf gameplay. Cheers.
Bidu.
Yeah, sorry, I just want to kind of put a lot out there. So, guys, I run the Dust League. That'll be starting on the 20th on Back to Warcraft's channel. If you're not already following them, go sub to them as well today and get that started, get that ball rolling. Group A starts on the 20th at 8 p.m. Eastern. For the Europeans, it's a little later. I think it starts at 1 a.m. on the Friday night. So if you're half in a bag coming home, come watch some Warcraft 3 and hang out. Really excited about that. You could follow me at Ricky Rubadoo underneath my face. On Twitter, just got it back. I'm starting to post just, random stuff on my mind and team-related stuff and Dust League-related stuff. So you can follow me there. You can also, if you're a Night Elf player, you can check out Ark's Learning Night Elf YouTube series on YouTube and at Team Dust on Twitter as well. So that's pretty much what I got going on. I got a lot going on. I'm a very busy boy. So, yeah, basically just trying to bring NA back.
What's the best place on social media to... I guess follow every actuality around the Dust League, like for people that will.
It'll definitely be at Team Dust.
Okay.
At Team Dust the Dust Gaming's Twitter channel will definitely be where most of them most of the posts get going, as well as Back to Warcraft, but we'll have to figure out the coordination for that because they'll probably be sleeping during.
Yeah.
So the actual live in your face news will be on at Team Dust.
Do you plan on doing any guest cast with some players?
Yeah, so I know me and Carson are going to be doing every Friday. So Carson is one of the smartest guys I know. He's a coach for the Warcraft 3 team. One of the smartest guys. He knows the game like no other. So he'll be doing a lot of insight with me on Fridays. On Saturday, it'll just be me. But I'm open to having like the community, like NA players. If you're not playing in that group, but you want to cast it with me, you're more than welcome to. Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that it can be like a real big community thing, and we get. So also in Dust League, if you come top 8, you get interviewed. So having that format on Back to Warcraft's channel is huge for telling people what you got going on, a little bit about yourself, and getting that introduction to the rest of the community. So it's really good. It's good NA games, and yeah, come hang out.
All right, thank you very much, guys.
Thanks for having me.
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate it. I really appreciate you having me.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Have a good night, and we'll see you around. Much love,
See you
guys.
guys.
All right, guys, it is time for some shout-outs of my own. I've got like a whole spiel prepared, if I can actually pull it up. Oh my god, I got so many tabs. All right, I'm gonna try to do better with this as I did last time, because I did pretty horrible. So first of all, thanks to my guests for joining me. Be sure to follow them if you want to find out more about their contents. We'll have, again, all of the links under the stream. Under the video, sorry, on YouTube. And so like if you guys are listening to this podcast on a podcast platform and you want to follow some of these guys, make sure you get on my YouTube. I'm at ToD's Gaming, and then you'll find the VODs for this Town Hall meeting, episode number 6. And then we'll have all of the links of their Twitter, Twitch, everything, YouTube, whatever they want to have listed. I'll ask them about that. If you are enjoying the show, consider supporting us on Patreon. This helps us cover production costs such as podcast hosting and continue providing this content. This podcast is live now on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Podbean, SoundCloud, and many more. So if you want to have this show delivered to you in audio format, just search for ToD's Town Hall Meeting on your favorites platform. Visit the Patreon page at patreon.com/ToDgaming. Supporters get the YouTube show VOD and podcast emailed to them ASAP. YouTube VODs are public a day later. Plus, I have a few more perks listed on different tiers, such as priority Q&A questions, Discord perks, monthly replay packs. Actually, I forgot to send the one yesterday. I need to do that. Custom recorded voice message, so you can use for a stream alert, voicemail greeting, or whatever. Ability to cast votes for the future direction of my tutorial content. And you can submit replays for me to analyze live on stream and much more. Check it out. Join my Discord and follow my Twitter for updates. Subscribe to YouTube for show VODs and game highlight videos. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next week.